The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Is he the senior citizen maverick?
The Golden Bachelor.
I mean, like, what's he trying to do?
Gonna wrestle an alligator.
I don't know what he's trying to do here. So, Lummy, where is he?
He's in the Amazon.
Doing what?
I think he just gave him $50 million.
He's just chilling.
They put him in the most remote part of the world that they could find besides Antarctica.
Well, the funniest part is that at the end of his speech, he turns around and just walks into the woods.
Yeah, he does.
Like Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Wow. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Welcome. The Bubba the Love Sponge show. Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Lummy, how are you coming along with the best of for the affiliates? I'd like to make sure they had that, maybe by tomorrow.
Not a problem. I just had a double check on all the listen tos, and
you had to make sure there's not 17 F words.
That's correct.
Okay,
and
that's important.
It's finalizing to its MP3, and it will be to them tomorrow.
All right. Now, have you with that? Do they all know that I'm going to be off Friday? Do they all know?
I let Jamal. I let the people know.
All right.
In the back.
And I wouldn't be adverse to me. You got. I have full confidence in you guys being able to throw together a show without me. It's just like when I said over at the Content House that potentially I'm going to be gone. But, do you guys want to do a show or take the day off? And Seth was the most vocal of all. Be like, give me the day off, baby. So, has anybody changed their mind with regards to would you want to do a show? Or would you rather have the day off? I feel better about just taking a complete day off just in fear that I can't necessarily control like a mistake or something.
I'm cool with everything we've had going on with the Content House.
I think the affiliates prefer a best of as well, just because there won't be any. Well, no, it's not me, because I think that a Bubba-less show could be good.
We don't have any protocol. We don't have any protocol for when you're gone.
Well, yeah, and we've not established that, but I think we do have protocol, but not necessarily on air protocol. I don't know. Like if we were to do a Bubba-less show, Lummy, obviously you and Seth would be here, but I don't, and it's on a Friday, and I
Normally Gene.
See, that's the factor. I probably wouldn't have Gene come in.
And in the best ofs, Gene is there, and you have him controlled. So it will be a Friday with Gene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, it's like I have confidence in Seth of knowing the FCC rules and knowing how far he could potentially push the envelope and not be in trouble. He's been in radio long enough to know. I have confidence in Dan. Dan's a very, very smart guy. Dan may get a little goofy and a little nut-hutty and a little narcissistic, but Dan's not going to push the boundaries of indecency.
No, I understand those rules.
Right.
Yeah.
And Lummy, you do.
Yes.
And Rhett does, and Macho Man does. So I have, and I think Brian does as well. But it could get real schmarmy with Brian. It could just be a big Bubba Bash fest with him. So realistically, like if I was to do a Friday, or I would do any day, I would have, probably...
Me come in?
I probably would have you come in.
It's fine.
With Seth, Seth being here at my place, and then Lummy, you being there, Dan being there, and then, incorporating Rhett and Macho if Macho hasn't been dancing with Mr. Jägermeister.
With the stars.
So I think that would be, and maybe Brian, too. But then you could get into,
That's a lot. Well, I mean, I'm fine with that being the way we do things moving forward.
I think we should try one of these days.
Okay.
I don't think we're prepared for that for this Friday because we just came up with it today with regards to what it would be. But, I think I'd like to try that one time. And then, Lummy, and Rhett, hopefully your mic's on. I'm really excited about starting to work on me live from the track and whatever equipment we may need for that. Because and that's going to make my life. It's just going to make my life a lot easier, and it's going to require me to take a lot less time off if I can go live from my racetrack during the month of January and February when we have our Winter Nationals. When usually I have to take either time off or I have to leave the track like at midnight and get here at my apartment at 1:30 and get 3 hours of sleep, and then do that for like 3 or 4 days straight.
Jeez.
Is just it's just going to make for a really, really bitchy, irritable me, which probably doesn't make necessarily for a very good show.
Can I ask you a dumb question?
Yeah.
You told me about your plans for the Cream Machine. Could you get to the point where you could actually broadcast an entire live show from that thing?
Rhett, Macho Man?
And I'm not trying to counter program.
I think that's the goal.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, that's the ultimate plan.
Now, Rhett, hold on. Even being able to go live from it, or just always a taping situation?
I mean, I don't see why you couldn't go live if we have, internet and.
Yeah, here's the deal. What's the difference between me sitting in what's the difference between me sitting in the Cream Machine or sitting in my RV, right? I mean,
exactly.
What's the difference?
You just have to get up and go out to the Cream Machine.
Yeah, I'll just have the Cream Machine parked right beside my.
And that would be even better for you to be like interviewing the track guys.
Right. I could
come in the Cream Machine.
Get the merch crick up, but those track guys, they don't get up.
Now, which one would be a bigger project between now and then? Would it probably be the Cream Machine?
You mean as far as
like setting up a mobile broadcast in your RV compared to what we want to do with the Cream Machine? Because I know that's a lot more stuff going on.
It matters if I could get the Cream Machine over to Terry this week.
He'll give you an idea on the timeline.
Yeah, he could give me an idea on a timeline. Then I have to get it over to Adam at Fender Works, and literally, I mean, do you have to pull the wrap? Well, Lummy, did you see where Hootie tried to take some of the wrap off?
Yes, and it just peeled off.
It just looked like crap.
Yep.
It's just old.
I heard that happens on the Cybertrucks. If you wrap them and you peel it off, it ruins the stainless.
Right, I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it's bad for whatever underneath it.
Well, mine's steel. And the other thing is, Terry's going to have to find a guy to weld in.
He's got guys.
Because remember, Hootie tried to put a TV on the side of it.
Yes.
And he cut it out.
Did he cut any of the structural stuff, or is it just like
it's just
the soft part?
and I have the insert.
Okay.
Meaning like the piece of metal that he cut out is he literally just threw inside the. So I think you could tack weld it.
Yeah, they could finish that in.
And tack weld, and I really don't care if there's an indentation. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. And literally, I want to just spray it flat, kind of like what Adam from Fenderworks on me did with Crown Vic.
Yeah.
How he just kind of flat blacked it and then put a glossy stripe down the middle. That's all I want to do. Nothing real simple. So if I can get it mechanically sound, then all I want to put on there is a big Bubba Army QR sticker and put mobile broadcast unit or whatever, and then you take the podcast table, put it in there, camera it up, and so I don't know. I think I could probably get that done by January. But if not, we can certainly do, I don't think with regards to my fifth wheel, my RV up there, I have a little kitchen table that I sit and eat my breakfast at. That's probably where I would just do it from, right? And would I need fixed cameras, or would I use the camera on my laptop?
Whatever you want to do. It'd probably look better if we used a fixed camera.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Be a more appealing angle.
Right.
But it wouldn't be anything super invasive. Like, we're not going to come run wires through the entire RV. It'd probably be something the size of a Comrex or something the size of a Roadcaster, and then your XLR and your microphone. You can set up a swing arm mic on the edge of that table if you want to.
Yeah. I'm gonna really try to just. I'd really like to get the Cree machine, and all I have to do is get it to Ocala. Like I don't need to. Hey Terry, I need to. I'm gonna drive this to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I mean, I literally need to go 120 miles, and all of it is interstate. And and I would probably drive it in the middle of the night, so there's no traffic and it's just rolling. Because sometimes stop and go traffic can. Dan, when you got something that's a little finicky, that might overheat. Big truck. Stop and go traffic isn't necessarily the best thing for either one, the transmission, or two, overheating.
No, not at all.
So
fortunately, it's cooled off.
Yeah. So, if I was to get it done, then I would just take it up like on a Saturday night, like at 10 or 11 o'clock. 75 is usually wide open there.
Yeah, it is.
Get it placed.
And you could run an accessory vehicle up there with you in case there's a problem. That way they could drag it if they had to.
Be like Smokey the Bandit to have a chase vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Smokey and the Bandit, I think Fabrizi got back his Smokey and the Bandit Pontiac Trans Am.
He has one?
No, hold on. Now hear this. So in 2007, 2008, Fabrizi comes. There's this big flat. I'm at my mansion in Bayway. I should just call it my big house. Mansion's so pretentious. So I'm at my big house in Bayway, which lives right across the street from Fabrizi, and I see this flatbed wrecker show up with a car that's under a car cover.
Oh, secret.
And so I immediately, and it's getting dropped off at Richards.
Got to see it.
So I'm immediately like, well, what the hell does he got? That's all we were.
Right.
So I went over there, and he's outside directing the guy. Okay, like, Fabrizi, what did you get? And he goes, I bought, and I think they used 24 of them. You can fact check me.
They used a bunch.
And this is one that never got used.
But it was on the set?
It was on the set.
That's so cool.
And so this was one that never got used, complete with the CB. This was a purpose-built 6.6 Pontiac Trans Am with the big golden wing with the big eagle on the hood, and it had, I think at that time, 41 miles on it.
Oh my God!
Yeah, 41 miles on it, and he bought it for $44,000 or $45,000, and this is in 2008 at an auction.
That's a pretty good deal.
So, all right, so he has it sitting in the garage and under a car cover. Well, at that time, he's like, I need to move it to somewhere outside of here. So, Mike's Pizza on 49th and Ulmerton. Well, Mike's Pizza's right there, but beside it is like an industrial, warehousing section, and Mike has a couple units over there where he stores like all of his pizza boxes and backup restaurant equipment. He's got a little office over there, and that's where he does all of his book work and stuff. Well, he also has he always has a couple show cars, or Mike collects cars, and so Richard asked Mike if he could put it over there.
Mm-hmm.
So he did put it over there. So Tony Stewart comes and in 2008 to stay with me, because in between the Rolex 24 and the Daytona 500, there was always a couple weeks, and him and Sumo would come over to my place. And that's when, Lummy, we usually had Bubba's Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
And my place got deemed Bubba's Bed, Bath, and Way Beyond. We'd usually have some lady friends over to party with us. That's when Tony was single. And so Fabrizi's over there, and he tells Tony's talking about all the show cars he's got. He had like a Lamborghini at the time, and he had a couple of old Mopars and all this kind of stuff. And Fabrizi goes, well, I'll tell you what I got. I got one of the cars that Pontiac made for Smokey and the Bandit. And they went through 23 or 24 cars, but they made like 30 or 40 of them. And I got one of the ones that were on the set that never got used. Well, Tony is like, now at the time, Tony drove for Tony's early stages of his NASCAR career. He drove Pontiac. Pontiac was in NASCAR, and then they just abandoned the Pontiac brand and went right to Chevrolet. GMC/Chevrolet owned. I don't know that they make Pontiacs anymore. I think they discontinued Pontiacs. So
they went with the Buicks.
Yeah,
and the Oldsmobiles.
So as they were discontinuing Pontiacs, Tony had a affection for Pontiacs. And I think, Lummy, that is the Smokey and the Bandit 6.6 Trans Am. Is that a Pontiac?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a Pontiac.
It's Pontiac Trans Am.
Yeah.
So Tony goes, oh my God, you got one, that's my favorite movie, and two, you have one? And Fabrizi's like, yeah, I just got it 2 weeks ago. It's over at Mike's Pizza. So Tony's like, I got to see it. So we drive to Mike's Pizza, and Tony's like, I want to buy it. I want to buy it right now. Like, what? How much? How much? Money's no object. And with Tony, money is no object. So Fabrizi's like, well, listen, man, I'm not gonna, like, you're one of Bubba's good friends. I really don't know you that well, but I've hung out with you a few times. Tony and Richard knew each other, but didn't spend a lot of time. Richard's like, I'll do you a solid, and I'll sell it to you for what I bought it.
Oh, come on.
And he's like, so he says, now this is 2008. So he says to Tony, there's only one rule. If you ever get rid of this car, Tony's like, I'm never getting rid of it. I'm never going to get rid of this car. Hell, I got stuff I'd sell way before this car. And if you look at, I actually found a video last night of Tony giving somebody a tour of his car collection, and there's several of those videos, but on one of them, it might have been Jeff Gordon. He was given a tour of his car collection, and the last one that he shows is the Pontiac, is the Smokey and the Bandit car that he bought from Richard, and he says, this will probably be the last car I ever get rid of if I have to sell my car collection. So Richard sold it to him for $44,000. Next thing you know, Tony's got somebody picking it up. And Tony's the kind of guy, like I don't think any of us are like this, but Tony was like, listen, call my girl Barbara in my accounting department, and she'll have a check wired to your account. Like if I got to pay somebody, I got to come up with it myself. I'm not calling Barbara in the accounting. I may be calling Tom Bean for a loan, but I'm not calling Barbara in accounting. So next thing you know, like a day or two later, Fabrizi gets his money. The guy comes and gets the car, and it's been in Tony's car collection, ever since 2000, and I'll call it 2007. Next thing you know, Sumo, obviously Sumo's with me. He leaves tomorrow. And Sumo, and I think it was like 2 days ago, Sumo's like, God damn, I'm going to go back. I'm going over to my, Tony. I think even Seth said that he envies Sumo's lifestyle. Seth went outside yesterday in the front, and Sumo had his shoes off and was kicked up on the leather couch and in the front green room there, watching something.
Just straight chilling, man.
Just straight chilling. Maybe just straight chilling. Like no F's given. And so, Seth has to scurry back, get on the air, and within the time frame is 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Sumo could care less. So Sumo, we're talking. He's like, oh, goddamn, I got to go over to Mike's Pizza. Because that's one of Sumo's favorite places, and him and Mike are friends. He's like, because I got to go see that Trans Am. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, yeah, Tony's liquidating everything from the big house. Because Lummy, he's got his big 30,000 square foot, hidden hollow place up for sale for $30 million, and I guess there's been some people looking at it.
Why is he selling it? Just to liquidate? Just get rid of stuff?
Here's the deal. He just had a kid 2 days ago,
right?
And he just doesn't need this. Like he sold his Lamborghini. I think he had 8 motorcycles. Over the years, people just gave him stuff like, here, Tony, we Orange County Choppers, and we're putting together a bike for you for free. Like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, and so I guess he was going through his stuff, and Sumo was out there when he was talking to his handler, one of his financial guys. Well, okay, just put this for sale, put this for sale, put this for sale. And he goes up and he wants to sell the Smoking the Bandit car, and Sumo goes, Tony, you can't be selling that. You promised Fabrizi that you'd sell it to him back for what you paid for it. And so Tony's like, oh my God, you're right, I did. What did I pay for it? And Sumo goes, I don't know, I think it was like 44. So they called up Fabrizi, and it was 44. So Fabrizi bought it back. So now it's back at where it went from wherever they bought it from. I think might have been like an auction house in California, back over to Fabrizi's house, over to Mike's storage, over to Columbus, Indiana. Now back to Mike's storage. So so it's back.
So what's it worth now?
I sent you the video.
I don't know. I mean, Lummy, you might
100,
be
150.
Lummy, you might want to.
I'm looking at it. I see they only made 4 of those cars for the movie. I sent you the video of him showing Jeff.
Let me see here. Oh yeah,
because it's in like a little bubble wrap or whatever.
Yeah. So hold on. This proves exactly what I said. Hold on.
1028.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon. This is another episode.
Cars. Now we're buying Fords.
Yeah, now you're buying Fords.
Now
are you getting 14 off the line?
Yeah. I haven't got that far yet.
All right. So this is Jeff Gordon. This is Tony.
Just a couple of gearheads out going for strolling the
hold on. Let me just. I'm going to.
They're all bubble wrapped.
Hold on. I'm gonna go to the front of it because Dan will absolutely get a straight boner on this. Okay. So we know 1025 is where Fabrizi's car is right now.
Yeah.
But that's how meticulous he is, Dan, with regards to his show cars. They're all, not only are they all inside atmosphere controlled, except for his race cars.
Right.
Now this is Steve Kinzer, his race car, and this is Tony. You can't, I don't think you can bubble wrap those because of the wings. But so
it's another episode of Around the Track, and I'm with the man, Smoke, Tony Stewart, and we're getting ready to check out his incredible car collection.
Oh, the sides up there are off the car we won our last race at Sonoma with.
Really?
In the left side there, you can see where we pancaked Denny. See where his wheel marks went.
All right, so let's get it.
Kurt's U-joint went through the screen of it.
These are all,
and you can
these
see
are all race cars, Tony, Lummy. These are
for
race
5
cars.
Years.
Do people whack into this kind of stuff?
Oh, Dan does, yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah. So here we go.
With what?
So now these are actual. Now
I'm watching with one hand under the desk.
These are actual race cars. These are like actual cars. He won
historic.
He won big races, and then he would buy it. At the time he owned the company. So.
Incredible race and championship that was.
I wanted people to see how it finished the race.
Right. That's cool.
That's the way it's supposed. That's the way the most valuable, Bubba. When they come off and they're exactly the way they finished the race.
And sometimes even the
patina, the dirt,
the celebratory confetti sometimes is stuck to the car.
You want all that. That's all precious.
Well, it looks like one, because there's obviously four. One was at an auction in 2022 for 400, and it sold for 495,000.
Hold on, how much?
495.
So Fabrizi's got a 500,000.
It's one from the movie, right?
Yeah, it's one from the movie,
and that one's from the movie.
I don't even remember how I got them all. There's one more that you haven't seen yet, but this one.
Now these are his Indy cars.
Sumo cost Tony $450,000.
I know it. And the Sumo said, "Well, goddamn, thank God I was there that day. That thing was getting ready to put on a flatbed and go to the auction."
Yeah, if Fabrizi owes Sumo a nice dinner.
But Tony was like really straight up. He's like, you know what? You're right. Like, you know, I mean, listen, $500,000 isn't. Like, Tony's worth $100 million. You know, $500,000. And you gave him your word, right? I mean, you know, you do the same. You do the same thing.
Yeah, I would.
Look at the open wheel. Look at the open wheel Indy cars.
This chassis is older than this chassis. This one looks older to me.
No.
All right, so these are just race cars, and so let's go to.
What's Jeff Gordon look like? He's pretending to know about cars.
Well, hold on. Jeff Gordon knows a lot about cars. I mean, Jeff Gordon is probably, you know, he's probably on the Mount Rushmore of NASCAR.
Yeah, he's one of the best ever.
Yeah.
So how come he got disrespect when he was racing? The Rainbow Warrior. Everybody rooted against him.
So let me hear
because he won everything. He was like Tom Brady.
So these are just all race cars. I think we get into other cars here momentarily. You know, these are okay. Here we go.
We won the championship, and that's the car we
that's his IROC car.
We ran that last race. I think Matt Kenseth won the race. We ran third, but we won the points with it.
This car is gorgeous. I love that.
Got cars that I got. You know, the yellow Corvette was from my first Brickyard win. We bought both the pace cars. I gave one of them to my crew chief, Greg Zippadelli, and kept the one.
Man, when you got that kind of money, Dan, when you win,
I want the pace cars.
You win the Brickyard, and then you're like, I want to buy both pace cars, and I'm going to give one to my crew chief, and I'm going to keep the other one.
We rode around in the back of after the race on the interview.
Now we're getting to his car collection.
Lap.
Yeah, they're all meaningful.
You know, when they started building Camaros again, I bought. That's the 14th Camaro off the line when they started.
So he 14's his car number, Lummy. So because he had a good dealership, because he was a Chevy driver, so he calls his Chevy rep up and says, "I want the 14th production line Camaro." Is that not cool?
That's pretty badass.
Camaro again. That's the 14th 2014 Stingray off the line.
Oh, those are great cars.
Now we're buying Fords.
Yeah, now you're buying Fords. Now are you getting 14 off the line?
Yeah. I haven't got that far
yet.
You
have a Ford GT?
Here, Lummy. Here's where he comes at Fabrizi's car.
No.
Right here, man.
You see Jeff's looking right at it.
Oh, here we go. And this is parked over at 49th and Almerton right now.
Those guys, the fancy guys, got those.
Watch this.
I got the Raptor. I got the pickup instead.
Yeah. Listen, based on what I've seen around here today, the Raptor is going to suit you well.
Yeah.
Right here.
And then my favorite movie of all time was Smokey and the Bandit, and I had to have a Trans Am with the eagle on the hood. Got bikes that the insurance won't let me ride now. Apparently, if you break your leg.
All right, so that's it, Lummy. Is that all the mention?
Yeah, but they show that your story is true for anybody.
For those that don't believe me, Bubba telling stories again.
And those guys, the fancy guys.
People doubting that?
I got the Raptor.
There's always people doubting Bubba's stories.
But everybody doubts everything. I'm just a big, compulsive, fat liar. Where have you been?
Why would you lie about that?
Well, I mean, Bubba just making up stories. He really doesn't know Dion. You know, he really never hung out with Larry Bird. You know, Hulk Hogan only knew him like a little bit, only just enough to blast his wife. You know, blah blah blah. So Ichiro, how do you say this?
Ichiro.
Suzuki, CC Sabathia among 14 newcomers for the 2025 Baseball Hall of Fame. Are these the official ones, Lummy?
Yeah, these are who they can vote for.
Ben Zobrist?
Well, yeah, he's up for it.
This is who they can vote for?
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't mean they're getting in.
Carlos Gonzalez. I mean,
these guys. Majority of these guys are not going to be first timers.
How many do they let in a year?
Do they?
As many as past the what do you have to get 70% or something like that?
Yeah, it depends on.
So it could be 3 to 10.
Yep.
It's really random.
So you have to get 70%. And here's the problem, is that the people that do the voting are these old-time baseball writers. And that's it. Like I think they do now. Seth, do they have
Hall of Famers
get
a vote?
Yeah, I think people that are in the Hall of Fame get a vote too.
Just all the people that hate Pete Rose get a vote.
Yeah, Curtis Granderson. I could see where that could be. Seth, you know baseball?
No,
not first timer.
No,
I mean, first timer, you got to be the elite of the elite.
All right, Felix Hernandez.
No.
Adam Jones.
No.
Ian Kinsler.
No.
Catcher Russell Martin.
No.
Catcher Brian McCain.
No.
Here's one I think that you'll say. Dustin Pedroia.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's a possibility.
Got to have a cool name.
Well, he was a longtime Red Sox. Like didn't he play his entire career for the Boston Red Sox?
I think he had so many damn injuries, man.
Yeah.
He really fought through a lot of stuff. Yeah, 4-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, career batting average .299.
Wow.
I'd probably say he gets in.
I'd say probably.
Should.
I think if you got a career batting average of 300 and you've won 2 world championships, how many MVPs?
It doesn't. It's just one MVP.
Hanley Ramirez.
No.
Fernando Rodney.
No.
I think CC Sabathia probably makes it.
I think he's one of those guys that's on the bubble.
Ichiro Suzuki.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, to me, he might be the only surefire.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ichiro's getting
what
in.
position is SP?
Starting pitcher.
Starting pitcher. Yeah. I don't even know who this next dude is.
He's on the Rockies.
Oh, Troy Tulowitzki.
Yeah. Is that?
No, he was good. He was good. These are all all-stars. Like these are all very, very good players. But I mean, when we're talking about the greatest of all time, I mean, Ichiro is far and above
everybody on that list.
Everybody on that list.
So
yeah,
he's a first-timer?
And probably
Yeah.
but probably second in that list would be Pedroia, probably.
Oh, Pedroia, probably Pedroia and then CC Sabathia.
Ben Zobrist, former Ray, and then went on to play for. I think didn't he go on to play for Madden at in Chicago?
Yeah, he did.
But I don't know that he's a first timer.
No,
he's not a Hall of Famer.
I don't even know that he's a Hall of Famer.
I don't even know if he's a Rays Hall of Famer or a Cubs Hall of Famer.
I don't even know if he's on a Rays Ring of Honor due to the fact that they're never going to have one. Because
his wife did him dirty, man.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
Christian singer.
She was like a Christian singer of very wholesome.
All right, so we're talking about Ben Zobrist.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Yeah.
All right.
He even came up to her. All her songs sucked. He would even use her songs as a walk-up song.
Right.
And she cheated on him.
Listen, I got a story.
With the pastor too.
With the pastor?
Yeah.
No.
Well, listen.
God's magic wand.
Listen. There was some infidelity in my life, and it happened to be the person in my life that strayed with a guy that was a spin instructor, and he tore Bubba. What was Bubba? The guy on the Rays. His name was Bubba.
Bubba Trammell.
Yeah, Bubba Trammell. He had broke up, the same spin instructor had broke up Bubba Trammell's.
Wait, he's got a thing for Bubba's?
No. No, you know what, Lummy? I take that
Gotta
back.
introduce him to the race car driver.
No. Hold on. I don't think it was Bubba Trammell. It was the guy that coaches the Twins.
Oh, Rocco Baldelli?
Yes.
Oh.
I think he broke. Well, anyway, the spin instructor that broke up my marriage broke up a former Rays marriage, too. And he would prey on these women who he thought had rich husbands and put a spin instructor magic on. I talked about it at length when it was happening, Lummy. I don't want to talk about it right now.
These spin instructors, you can't trust them, Bubba.
No, you
shady
can't.
Guys.
Lummy.
But that happens a lot though because it's who they're with. Just like Giselle ended up with her jiu-jitsu instructor.
Right.
If she was doing spin, she'd be nailing the spin instructor.
Right. They go to
those instructors. They have this magical control over their pupils. Which is why teachers.
Presence.
Go ahead.
What's that?
An authoritative presence.
Yeah,
an
authoritative presence.
Right. It goes from Clinton to your teacher.
They're in shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's
why teachers get in trouble if they have sex with the students because you have this power over them.
I got in trouble, all right. Boy, I have some not so fond memories.
Oh, but just on the Ben Zobrist thing too, the pastor that took his wife was also their marriage counselor. So that
nice.
And then she threw a $30,000 party, and then
was she hot?
She was all right.
I'll tell you who's hot. Matt Joyce's wife. Have you seen her?
No.
Oh yeah, she used to be a hard rock girl.
Yeah, and she's
Brittany Joyce.
Yeah, Brittany Joyce. But the thing about it is, if you look at her Instagram, she's I peep her Instagram. She's not wearing her wedding band anymore.
Oh.
Man, that's interesting to notice that stuff, Bubba.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, listen. Okay, hold on. I gotta go. But they're
check the nips and check the ring.
If you go to her Facebook, they have like some pictures together and stuff.
Sure.
But there's a lot of pictures of her with the girls.
Well, separation's a big thing these days, Bubba.
Lummy, do me a favor. Go find me her Insta. Send it to me. We'll go through that next. Okay. All right.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Were you just agreeing with me?
No, 100%.
Or was I just agreeing with you?
I think we both agreed with each other because you should see the holdovers. I mean, the holdovers are, they were from last year. I mean, Billy Wagner, what do you have, 500 wins? No, but I'm saying
500 saves.
500 saves?
Yeah.
I mean,
but
Fernando Rodney
people too. So
huh?
they vote on the old ones and the new ones.
Yeah, like that. He got 72%, but there's like Chase Utley, which is I'm saying comparable to these guys from this year. I sent you that Instagram, Bubba.
You think A-Rod's gonna get in next year? Because he was a roid guy.
Yeah, he's in his 50.
Yeah, he's a roid guy, but they don't really fucking ever like
because they hate him for so many other reasons. Steroids is the last reason people hate A-Rod.
He's in his 5th year of trying to get in now.
Is he? I thought he said he was up for it next year.
Well, I was looking at the list and it said that he got 40% of the vote.
He also forgot how to play baseball when it comes to October.
Yeah.
He's just like.
He got one though, right? He got 1 or 2 championships, didn't he?
It's not because of his prowess. Good morning, Iggy and Grouper Lips and Kenny Powers.
I sent you the right girl. She's her last name is Joyce, right?
Bart
Yeah.
Hutchison,
Okay.
Big Buck, T. Barrington, Brandon Reams, Amp Kid.
35%.
Pro Wrestle 91, good morning, Buzzard, Bob. What's up, Scott Weber? Big Blakey, Blakely. Attack of the Dog, Roberto Perez, Little Bug.
Now, I don't think that
He's out of the room.
Okay. All right, so this is perfect.
Gary Sheen. Matt Hot. Bald Bulls. So, Mr. M. Who the fuck is Suno? Okay, Brandon. Suno's Bubba's friend, and he's still works with Tony Stewart. All his buddies up from Indiana. Fan Orlando. Coach Duke. Heather Wiz. Snook Slayer, that's a funny Fabrizi story about Mike's Pizza locking up. Mr. M. Probably. Someone said that Trans Am was probably Smokey and the Bandit too. Is it possible, Bubba?
I don't know.
Talking about a 77 versus 79. I don't know.
Maybe.
You're the one said that. Probably smoking at the end of two. Possible.
Might have been.
Dan, you still loving the Cybertruck?
Still loving it, yeah. But still, dude, I was.
Somebody flipped you off.
Dude, I'm sitting down at a Circle K, just answering some like emails before I get home. Just taking a 3-minute break, and this like half homeless guy with a Band-Aid on his face that looks kind of drunk comes up and just like out of nowhere, like almost startles me because he just comes over my right shoulder and he just looks at my truck. He's like, "That's so fucking ugly." And I look up and he looks at me and goes, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "You're talking. I'm just listening to you talk." I'm talking to myself. Okay. All right, keep walking, asshole.
Wait, I don't know. I think the best part of that was that you were taking calls at Circle K.
Well, I usually go on the way home and like grab my.
Well, here's the problem. If you go and do it in the driveway, the family comes out and asks what the fuck you're doing.
No, I understand. I know all about sitting in the car when you get home. It's
It's sometimes I need a couple minutes to just like finish
yeah.
the day.
Man, Dan got faced by a bloody homeless guy. That really should tell you.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
First of all, Lummy, we might want to break this down as a short or just something that we really distribute on across all platforms, because I think I've stumbled upon something here, and I'm the only Tampa Bay media to maybe report this. Because obviously Matt Joyce is Tampa Bay royalty. He was born and raised. Talk about the All-American dream. He was born and raised. I think he went to Armwood High.
Yep.
And then went on and got drafted by his home team, and then went on to have a very long, lustrous career for the Rays. Met his wife. She's a Tampa girl. She's originally from Connecticut, but was in Tampa, probably either going to school or just doing, hot chick Tampa things. Met her. They've been together. I think they have a child together. Maybe a couple children, but I think just one. She's her name's Brittany, and she's just unbelievably hot. So hot, Lummy, that I follow her on Facebook. Okay. And so, as I'm following hot Brittany Joyce, wife of Matt Joyce, which, by the way, Matt Joyce, I think now owns some type of fitness.
Yeah, F45s.
Yeah, he owns F45 franchises across America, and it's a fitness franchise. So here's the picture. This is her public Facebook, and so let me, as I follow Brittany Joyce, because she's hot as hell, and does it make me creepy because I follow an attractive woman?
No.
If she was maybe like somebody was underage or something, it might be creepy, but she's obviously she's a Tampa girl. It's the All-American dream. Married to a Tampa, sports hero.
It's the All-American dream. That's why you're following her, Bubba. Listen,
right.
You can say you follow a hot chick, where no one's questioning you.
So,
here.
I probably catch, I look for different things and catch different things. And so I've been perusing around her, and listen, probably nobody in Tampa media would even want to report this, or even have the forum or the loosely knit non-time constraining forum that I have to be able to break this down. Like, Jen Epstein today on Channel 13 can't break this observation down, because we're long form and we can talk in long periods of times, and we're non-corporate, and we can pretty much do what we want and talk as long as we want, Lummy.
Yes.
We can, break things down and maybe see and find different things that other people may notice, but don't have the forum to be able to talk about it. I'm wondering if there's something going on with their marriage.
Yep.
Because of Dan, you're seeing what I'm seeing,
and I'm seeing the second part of it too that you didn't even bring up yet. I'm waiting for you to.
I'm going to bring it up. So first of all, if you look at her Instagram page. Now, this is from 40 weeks ago.
40?
40 weeks ago.
Okay.
This is from 40 weeks ago, and it shows her, chopping up some. By the way, she's absolutely gorgeous.
She's pretty.
Like, she's had it, she's, I don't know how old, she's probably maybe 35, 36. She's had a child. She's just absolutely stunning. So this is from 40 weeks ago, and I want you to notice that she has her wedding band on. You can see that she had right here. You can see that she has her wedding band on. So you can see it you can very much see it right here. Wedding band.
Yep.
40 weeks ago, okay? Now, if we go from 73 weeks ago,
What the hell are we
if you go from 73 weeks ago, I'll tell you what we're doing, Seth, is we're scooping, buddy.
We are.
We are
Primetime Bubba investigates.
We are deep dive and it would nobody, and I don't want to report bad news. Obviously, I had an unsuccessful, very public breakup on a very, very bad situation with a sex tape. I'm sure that's not the case here. But as you can see here, at 73 weeks, God, she's so gorgeous. She has her wedding band, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go from 72 weeks, she has, what does she have right there?
Her wedding band.
Her wedding band, 72 weeks. Now, if you go from 5 days ago, she's outside of a hay bale trying to be like a country girl. You can see there's what?
No ring.
No wedding band.
Oh.
Now you can go back. You go back a couple months ago.
Hold on. I'm not done.
Okay.
This is from 5 days ago. Lummy, you can clearly see what?
No ring.
No wedding band.
Nope.
So if we go from 2 weeks ago, out and about with what do we see?
No wedding band.
No wedding band.
Mm-hmm.
If we, this is her left hand right here. Same photo shoot from 2 weeks ago. Out with the girls. What right here? What's that?
No wedding band.
No wedding band.
Looks like Fort Beachy.
If we go from 2 weeks ago, you can't really see her left hand there, but you can see her, and this is with her child, and you can also see kind of the sadness in her eyes a little bit too. Can you not?
Yes.
I mean, you can.
Yes. No, I see it, Bubba. I see it. And you know what else, Bubba, can I add to this?
Look at this. Now, hold on. Her child's birthday. There's only one parent there. And no wedding band.
Yep.
Now, when your child is having their birthday party, if you're together, unless Dan gets called to a level 5, emergency surgery, you're going to be there.
And I'll tell you when it happened.
I need 2 days at the gym for my next month straight after. Okay, when did it happen?
September, when she went on her all girls trip. That's when I don't see any ring after that September trip.
Hold on here.
And I saw it before September.
If you see now, hold on, this is her birthday party.
Yeah, where's the dude?
Hold on.
Maybe he's holding the camera?
No. Well, I mean, okay. Drinking White Claws, celebrating her birthday. Look at this. That's her left hand, is it not?
Yep, ringless.
No wedding band.
Why should I pay someone when we can...
This is from 3 weeks ago. I don't think that's a wedding band. Is there a wedding band there?
She has a diamond engagement ring / wedding band, but she also has a pearl that she's worn on that hand a couple times.
What's that, Lummy?
No wedding band.
No. So...
Well, I mean, you can read the caption, Bubba, too. I mean, on the last one, I know you like to just go by pictures, but...
There's words?
There's words here that could help you, yeah.
You talking about this right here?
Yeah.
Another trip around the sun. This past year has been definitely has its twists and turns filled with loss and big changes. And I felt the beauty in every day, no matter how chaotic. Today I'm filled with gratitude for the strength that I've found in the incredible people who fill in my life and light. Seth's like, Bubba, you need to look at the words. Words are important. And the incredible people who fill my life with light. Here's to lifting each other up, finding joy in every little moment, and becoming the best version of ourselves. Cheer to the endless possibilities ahead.
They're separated.
Did I not? Let me.
Yeah, you called it.
I mean, nobody in the Tampa media are going to reach out and make this proclamation or this announcement. But Brittany and Matt Joyce are either divorcing, or separated.
Yeah, even in May, there was no ring.
And so let me that's her Instagram. If you go to her Facebook, her profile picture shows, her family, Matt, I think his fine. I think he played maybe with the Phillies, got picked up by the Phillies, but maybe got dropped. But I think he played a year or two with the Braves. He was a journeyman after he left. I think he played for Joe Madden for a couple years for the Cubs too.
No, with the Angels. He played at the Angels.
These are pretty much just all the same pictures that we went through, on our Instagram. So again, but then she's promoting the F45 fitness deal
that they own together.
Okay.
Yeah. Together?
Yeah. They went into it together.
Okay. So I'm reporting it. Matt and Britt Joyce are going through a divorce or are divorced.
She wore it in April. That's the last picture I saw of her wearing it is April.
So let me have Cantrell, cut that all up real nice.
Breaking news.
And it is. In Tampa Bay, Fox 13 isn't going to report that.
Nope.
But is it
Channel
news?
8?
Is it news?
Yeah.
Or is it something that you just kind of like,
It's kind of news.
Private.
Well, he's a celebrity. Is he not a celebrity?
In the Tampa Bay area?
In the Tampa Bay area.
Giselle and Tom Brady's breakup was international news. This could be at least local.
Yeah, that's
regional.
what I'm saying. This doesn't have to be. This isn't news that Oshkosh, Wisconsin's going to get.
What are we reporting? What are you reporting? I don't know.
Estranged.
She's on the market, man.
We're reporting that they're broke up. They're.
But don't you have to have a source or anything? Or
okay, hold on. I had two sources: Facebook and Instagram. and hold on, I had probably no less than 30 pictures. 30 pictures.
That's
where
true. Yeah.
Where before May she wore her wedding band. She wore her wedding band quite proudly, and it was a very big one. Her wedding ring. And from May on, she's not worn her wedding band. And then we get that cryptic message that you told me to read about how this past year is,
growth and change
and strength and my inner circle. And thank you for those that are there to lift me up. I'm reporting that Matt and Britt Joyce are divorced. And then listen, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker of all. You're celebrating your child's birthday.
Someone says she announced on TikTok they're getting divorced November 11th.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. That seems odd. What announcing your divorce on TikTok?
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I'll try to
find that. Yeah. But nobody of any of major media significance picked that up, right? Or if they did, they didn't report it. And nobody's listen. I'm not trying to be the bad guy here. I'm just reporting the news. People didn't have a problem with reporting when my marriage fell apart. How did we get here? Hold on. I think that I think maybe because I'm a bigger celebrity than Matt Joyce, that my divorce was reported by the St. Pete Times. Bubba the Love Sponge and wife divorcing. Google that. So people didn't have a problem with reporting that I was getting a divorce. And I don't know, Matt Joyce and Brittany Joyce, they're as big as me and Heather were, if not bigger. Some local shock jock compared to a Major League Baseball player. Obviously, there were some things, there are some extenuating circumstances behind mine.
You got Matt's number?
No, I don't.
You want to just text him to confirm?
No, I
can give it to you.
I don't think I need to. I don't think I need to go in here and stir the pot or be disrespectful.
You could get a full confirmation that you need to run with your story.
People on chat are saying it's not even his kid.
September 14, 2011, local shock jock, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Hold on, read it again. Hold on. December
14th, 2011.
Right, read it. From what source?
Tampa Bay Times.
Tampa Bay Times.
Local shock jock, Bubba the Love Sponge, Clem files for divorce. And then it's a whole article.
Yeah. So
Actually, it's a pretty long
Dan,
article.
the media reported that I was getting a divorce. Why can't I report that I speculate?
Is that public record, though, the divorce? Is that?
It's filing. Sometimes it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's filed.
I'm just a little bit ahead of the public filing.
Okay.
Now, let me, if you could be so kind as to maybe find where she TikToked it.
That's what I'm looking for her TikTok.
And, I think I got to scoop on this one, media-wise.
I think you sniffed it right out, Bubba.
And I don't want anybody, I don't want Matt or Britt or friends of them or their family to be upset with me. It's just something that I noticed.
You didn't say anything negative about either one. In fact, you were very complimentary to both.
He's a great dude and a good-looking dude, and she is a great woman and a good-looking woman. They got
great woman.
They got a very successful what's it called? F-45.
Yes.
What's F-45 mean?
It's a training facility.
It's like a 45-minute training.
Yeah, for 40.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
started in Australia.
Yeah, and so it's like and you can go in there, Dan, for 45 minutes and get a really just unbelievable. No, you're going so that you can see if she's there.
Hey, you teach spin classes?
So, listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Let's make this a short. Bubba the Love Sponge predicts that Matt Joyce and Brittany Joyce are going through some tough times. It looks like they're headed for divorce. Now, did somebody say that that's not even his child?
They're saying that on chat. I don't know if that's any accuracy.
That's not true.
I think that's
his daughter.
That's his daughter. Let's not be.
Do they have two children?
Let's not be disrespectful. They have one, and I think that's their child together.
I hope so.
Let's hope so. Right. For those scoring at home, man, never, ever, ever, ever trust a furry. Period.
What you mean, like a guy that's a furry, like a person that's a furry?
Yes.
Okay.
Dateline, Fullerton, California. 25-year-old man meets 17-year-old girl within the furry community, and then plots to kill her parents so that he can be with her. All in the furry community, California. Now this has been like this. He went to trial on this. A California jury has convicted a man for orchestrating the murder of teenage. Did he really murder them?
All he has to do is conspire, and he'd be guilty of the conspiracy part. So if he just made a plan and did an action towards that,
has convicted a man of orchestrating the murder of a teenage girl's parents, and the plan that stemmed from an infatuation sparked within the furry subculture. Frank Sato Felix, age 33. Now, Dan, you must have, because he faces life in prison. Felix was found guilty on 3 counts of first-degree murder, including enhancements for multiple murders, according to Orange County District Attorney's Office. His connection with the 17-year-old began in the unconventional setting of the furry community, where individuals don animal costumes and personalities. The teenager introduced to this subculture by her mother. Her mother introduced her into the furry community.
So they're all crazy. You know, I mean, is that crazy? I mean, but Seth, come on.
No, that's insane.
Furry people, they're crazy, right?
Listen, Dan, I've been to these sex conventions before to interview people and all that stuff, and the furries, when they show up, I mean, even the people that are tied down, the dominatrixes and all that, they are freaked out by the furries.
Really? So you're saying the women that ball gag a man and tie his penis balls up with with clothespins?
Yes, and the guys that get kicked in the jung for pleasure.
Right. They're the one. They say, "Watch out for the furries."
They go, "Wow, yeah, clear the way, man. The furries are coming through. Look at those freaks."
That's
right. You worried about transsexuals? Worry about furries.
Yeah, true.
Sorry,
transsexuals. You don't ever see any headlines that says transsexual person.
Shut up at school? Yeah, you do.
No. Kills entire family so they can be with the 17-year-old little boy or little girl.
Some transsexuals have really done some absolutely abhorrent things over the last 5 years the media has quelched most of it.
Prosecutors outline how Felix
child shooters.
I think if we ever could get a completely intellectually honest and transparent media, that you would find a lot of these school shooters were in the transsexual world, so to speak.
Confused. And the suicide rate amongst that group of people is really high, and so some people wonder if they do this as sort of like suicide by police.
Which is the worst thing to do.
It is
ever.
so horrible. Yeah, because it ruins everybody's life.
You got a police officer who is just trying to serve and protect. That's what the motto of being a police officer is. And they're rolling up to a situation, and this person has no intent to do anything other than to pull their gun out and point it at a cop, so a cop has to gun them down. And it's because they didn't have enough balls to put the gun to their head and blow their brains out.
I agree 100%. Bubba, if you were a furry, though, what would you be? What would your animal be? I'm
not even answering that question.
Oh, come on.
I'm not even answering that question.
Seth.
I'm not answering.
Chipmunk?
Yeah.
How about you, Lummy?
A gorilla.
I'd be a gorilla, too.
We have two gorillas?
We know what you would be.
What would I be?
A unicorn.
Lion.
No.
A lion.
You're a unicorn.
I'm a lion.
And I got texts from your brothers stating you would be a unicorn.
And I have texts from you, Bubba, saying that the unicorn is dead in lieu of the lion.
Only after you were being nice, not being a dick.
I'm not being a dick now.
Now you're being a dick.
I'm not being a dick now. We're talking about furry costumes. You could be a gorilla. Is that being a dick? I'm not saying you're going to be a butterfly.
You kind of have to be something friendly, like when you're a furry.
And something furry.
Yeah, I want to be.
Butterflies aren't really furry.
I want to be a mean gorilla that's not. Like I want to be a. If I
You can't. Then no one's going to want to have sex with you.
I want to go to a furry convention and beat up other furries.
That sounds cool.
I don't want to go to a furry convention and be sexually turned on by these freaks.
Well, those are hate crimes, Bubba.
I want to go to a furry dressed up like in an ape suit and start just jumping on people. Because Lummy, I got to think. I gotta think that furries aren't very tough people.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
So do you like when the furries fight at like a game, like the mascots fight? Does that?
Those people aren't furries. They're mascots. There's a difference.
There's not. You don't think there's a little bit of a crossover there?
No, I really
the
don't.
The furry also likes being a mascot.
I really don't.
Oh, okay. I thought for sure.
Prosecutors outlined how Felix's interest in the girl escalated to an obsessive nature, leading to a romantic involvement despite her parents' objections. Now, this guy was how old? This guy was
33.
This guy was 33. Yeah. She was 17. She is just 16 years old. Leave her. You know how many times I heard that this weekend at the Content House?
Just once.
I thought it was twice.
Well, I don't know. Did somebody else do it?
No, maybe. Just that.
I would love to challenge them if they did.
You love that song.
Well, I mean, it's a great song that should not be censored just because it's highly perverted.
The girl's mother, Jennifer Goodwell Yost, and her stepfather, Christopher Yost, strongly disapproved of the relationship. Attempting to remove this obstacle, Felix involved his acquaintance, Army mechanic Josh Charles Acosta, ultimately leading to the tragic chain of events. The plot unfolded on September of 2016. Now, this is way early in the furry world, is it not?
These are furry pioneers, yes.
When Felix and Acosta drove to the Yost residence in Fullerton, California, while the family and a visiting friend, Arthur Billy Brocher, were asleep. Acosta entered the home with a shotgun supplied by Felix. The violence was brutal and deliberate. Boucher was shot in his sleep.
Oh, so they didn't just plan it; they actually did it.
Oh yeah, they did it.
I thought they were just like
he went in with the furry went and got his army buddy, and then went and broke into this house and killed everybody but the daughter. The violence was brutal and deliberate. Boucher was shot in his sleep, followed by the murder of the mom in her bedroom, and Yost attempted to flee. He was fatally shot. So Yost, the stepfather, the mom attempted to flee, but she was shot on the patio, dead.
Damn.
After the murders, Felix, Acosta, and the girls returned to Felix's residence in Sun Valley, where they attempted to destroy evidence by burning clothes, tampering with cell phones. Amidst the chaos, the Yost's two younger children, aged 6 and 9, awoke to the... So they got two other kids, ages horrible. 6 and 9...
That are orphans.
...that wake up and find that their mom and dad are dead. The subsequent investigation led to the arrests of Felix and Acosta, and later being apprehended at his military post in Fort Irwin. Both faced charges of first-degree murder, while Acosta was already serving a life sentence following his conviction of 2018.
Neil Mount Plaisir, $20.
Thank you so much. During the Acosta trial, the teenage girl testified denying any prior knowledge of the murder plot. She was allegedly abused at the hands of her stepfather and described how that's, I mean, it's kind of like a Menendez brothers, in the fact that it's easy to bring up abuse after the person that abused you's dead, and you've maybe not, I think the Menendez brothers did document. I think they did properly document their abuse.
By going to the police?
No.
That's the proper documentation.
No.
Telling your psychiatrist about it's not documenting it like going to the police.
I understand, but telling your psychiatrist about it and your family members about it, at least you've told somebody, right?
But do you think that a jury would be more sympathetic to a defendant that actually went to the police and said, my stepfather's touching me, and the police did nothing, and then 3 months later shot him?
Oh, I think you've documented it quite well at that point. If you've gone to the police and you said, hey, my stepdad's touching me, and then you blow his brains out 3 weeks later,
or 3 months later after the police don't do anything.
Yeah, and then the police investigate it.
Yeah, they say, we can't find anything. There's nothing, actionable here. We have no proof. So it's just, he said, she said.
I mean, I don't know if the police investigated it thoroughly, but then listen, I have no faith in police investigations. You know that. Police investigations are so tainted by the good old boy network.
They can be.
Who you know, what you know, who you are. Who's the victim? Who's the victim's significant other? A political affiliation?
Although I did see Susie Lopez up in the middle of the night from that shooting in Tampa. She seems to be very motivated to put people in jail that are bad.
That's why I wouldn't interview her opponent, because I believe in her. And I thought
her opponent was a friend too, but I understand. I understand the wave right now is for law and order.
I was asked by your family, to interview her opponent, and I said I'm going to take a pass on that and stay neutral on this. I didn't want to campaign against Susie Lopez. I think she's doing a good job.
She's doing a great job, and apparently
Susie Lopez is the Hillsborough County State Attorney. Everybody knows I've had a long history with that office.
Mm-hmm. And she was appointed by the governor, and then she was recently duly elected now. So she's the duly elected state attorney. And she's real motivated to, again, create a sense of comfort and law and order in Tampa, which we've really enjoyed for the last 5 years.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, good morning. This is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
I just wanted, I don't want to derail the show, but I promised to call. I saw you guys out at Davenport Ale House. I'm the guy who brought the stupid Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, you gave me a Build-A-Bear gift card to surprise.
That's for Merch Crick.
Yeah, well, you didn't let me finish. To surprise the Merch Crick with. Yes.
Yeah. But no, I really appreciate you guys doing that. I am hoping to figure out how to give you guys some money in the future. The company I work for, I can't use Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, that type of stuff.
Listen. It's not all about giving us money.
He's got a high level job.
It's all about just listening to the show and enjoying it, and make sure that you follow us on our various platforms, and that's good enough, my friend. Not everybody has to give us money. You don't have to do that to be Bubba Army.
All right. Well, now when it comes to Seth, I did find the AFI record. I'll send that in.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, it's. I'm sorry it's destroyed, but besides that, yesterday you guys were talking about balanced budgets and whatnot, and it to me felt like there was a misunderstanding.
Are you okay? Are you okay, my friend? It sounds like you're on the verge of crying, or you're very upset, or something. What is
no,
that?
I've got a raccoon that I'm trying to wrangle up to go to the vet.
You got to.
You're trying to lasso up a raccoon?
No, hold on. You got to. I'm assuming a pet raccoon.
Well, he became a pet. Once I bought this property, he just moseys on in my place all the time.
Raccoons are usually wild and carry rabies, my friend. I'd be careful with that.
He's out in Lutz. He's fine.
People are immune to that.
It's trust me. There's animals. There's animals everywhere.
All right. Well, you might want to like just sit down and talk to us and not try to wrangle the raccoon while you're talking to us. I don't know that you can do both. You know what I'm saying?
Is it a real raccoon or like a guy in a raccoon outfit?
No, it's not a furry. It's a real raccoon. But all right. Well, then I'm just gonna hang up. I didn't want to waste your time.
Sorry, Dan. I don't think that he's a furry type of fellow.
Actually, I've been to a furry convention.
Nailed it.
I don't have a reversal of the Q105, other than an apology to Dan Diaco.
No, but
sorry, Dan, you nailed it, and I was too much of a dick.
They're actually super nice people.
I bet. Until they want to kill your parents.
Yeah,
but what about the balanced budget?
Until the one you met's 33 and your daughter's 17, and he decides to
Pocky in the night.
Hire his Army Ranger buddy to come in and blow your entire family away, except for the 2 orphan kids. We've heard that furries are pretty cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what about the balanced budget?
Well, I mean, okay. So when it comes to a balanced budget, you need to operate with it. It's just that's just the way that things have to be. So when you hear that we owe China whatever $1 trillion, let's call it.
It seems like the number we saw yesterday was like 34 trillion, but whatever.
But not all of it's to China. Probably 5 of it or 6 of it.
What that is it's a trade in the sense of they owe us, you owe me, and when it comes to things like tariffs and whatnot, they're essential. Sorry, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself.
Sir, I'm really very pro you. I appreciate the gift certificate, but you're making it difficult to navigate through this phone call as a host. I'm just telling you.
But states have balanced budgets. Why, if a state has a balanced budget, why can't a federal government have a balanced budget? I mean, most states operate on a balanced budget constitutional requirement, so they have to control what they're spending, and they can't keep going upside down because they can't print their own money. And that's the problem when the people with the purse also are the people with the printer. They can spend and go as far in debt as they want because they can continue to back it up with more money being printed.
Seth, don't you wish you had a printer?
Oh, I do.
I got a purse that's empty, but I need a printer.
This is something that's gone back and forth. In the 30s, in the 1830s, there was a depression caused by reckless banks. And so there was a trend for the president, I think it was Polk at the time, to decentralize the banks and put an independent treasury to help prevent rogue banks from creating, predatory type loans that would default and create, a negative effect on the economy and ultimately a depression. It worked up until, the 1920s, and it worked again up until the stock market crashed in like 2007, 2008 when there's bubbles. But, I know that there's a lot of people that hate the fact that our Treasury is its own independent company, but there's some arguments for it.
No, there's without question an argument for it. But when you're printing money out of thin air, it essentially devaluates everyone's money.
Yes.
And we're definitely going to be in a depression, in my opinion, once Trump actually starts doing all this type of stuff that he's planning on doing.
All right, bud. Well, listen, I'm running late, my friend, and I'm not trying to be rude or nothing, but the U.S. deficit talk is bringing me right down to zero. Unless you could catch that raccoon live on the air and he bite you, it would be the only thing that could probably save this phone call at this juncture. Please don't be upset. Thank you for the Build-A-Bear gift certificate. Thank you for the
Coming from Lutz, man.
The record that you're potentially going to send Seth. I just am running way behind my friend, and I got to get going.
Yeah, no, I meant to hang up anyway, but I hope you guys have a great day.
All right, you as well. Thank you. I mean, come on.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you coming out to the Davenport Ale House. I'm not trying to be a dick or disrespectful. It's just that I'm 13 minutes late, and I was getting bored by the phone call. And at the end of the day, if I'm getting bored, I think other people are getting bored. Let's talk about fun, salacious stuff. Let's talk about our president who missed the group photo for the G20.
Now, is he looking for a bathroom or?
I think Joe's looking for. We don't know what Joe's looking for.
Who the hell wants to take another picture? I mean, come on. We're always avoiding those pictures. I don't blame him. He wants to stand next to,
Wait, just wait till you see the video before you commentate. It's quite funny.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
But but I have to know. I gotta know what I'm getting,
Right.
But it's the names are ridiculous.
But it's like the guys that can remember all the names of wines.
Yeah.
I'm not wired that way.
I only know white and red.
Rosé.
Man, I haven't had wine in forever. That was probably the last alcohol I had. That was a nice guy, man. He was nervous at the ale house.
That guy?
Yeah.
He was nervous on the call.
Yeah, he came out. He was
just nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying to catch a raccoon.
What's up, Quicker Ticker?
So, Bubba.
What's up, Longer?
They may be moving me now in the next few days.
We probably need to talk about that. Who's moving you?
Insurance company.
College hunks moving junk?
Oh, like, who's going to actually do the move? Steven's like, you may need to make sure that they pay for that move. All right.
Who said that?
Steven.
If insurance is paying, you mind if I show up and maybe move a thing or two for like $500?
No, go for it, dude. Bubba, I just sent you a link to the house.
Yeah.
If you take $500, let me just come for.
I'll put a vacuum cleaner in like the U-Haul and just say it was there.
So the insurance company's putting you up in that?
They're talking about it. Apparently, I have like over $1 million of alternative living expense coverage.
What if you like this house better?
Which house better?
The one you can move into.
Oh, that's going to be a problem.
Huh?
It's going to be a problem.
This might be a nicer house than you have.
It is a nicer house. It's not as big a property, but the house is just stupid, ridiculous.
Fuck.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Hey, Lummy.
Yes, sir.
Guess what came in?
Came in. Some PayPal?
No, I haven't even checked PayPal today. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Let me see.
Bubba Army Bravo?
What?
Cologne?
No, it's not going to be Bubba Army. It's Bubba Army Alpha Volume 25.
Okay.
I am in the process of manufacturing.
Have you finalized your scent?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
It's a Creed-based scent. I'm sticking with the Creed-based. This one's this one. Let me see. Let me smell volume 24. This is volume 24 because I got a pretty good. Let me see here.
You got some coffee in between. Do you have a sample of the 25?
I think he's in the process of stealing the recipe from.
No, I do. I just it'll be. I do. I'll share it with you.
Okay.
When I can.
What's Cologne it's a little bit.
It's
toilet water.
Volume 25 is going to be just a little bit
cleaner.
Yeah, even just a
lighter.
A little lighter than 24. 24 was great.
Yeah, 24
I know people
wonderful smell.
I know people that have like used 24 every day, and they're like, I'm getting low. There's no more left. Like when maybe 25, you might want to buy 2 bottles. So 25's being manufactured now, but Lummy, I think we got our first shipment of I think we got the first 100 Bubba Army royalty rings.
All right.
Oh, cool.
But like I don't think I should give them to you guys.
No, but can we see it maybe privately off air?
Yeah, can we see them?
Dying to see one.
If the Merch Crick is listening, and within the first batch you have a Seth, Macho, Rhett, Dan, Lummy ring. Could you? I think she's upstairs. Could you bring it down, but leave it in the kitchen? Leave them in the kitchen because I don't want them anywhere near the camera.
That makes sense.
And Dan, you're gonna like it because you're a gold guy, and this is by the way, Lummy, 200 from Buck.
All right, big Buck.
Man, Buck's wife's breasts look extra.
Oh my goodness,
extra big. Did they not? Lummy,
yeah.
I think that's kind of what the Bubba Army expect. I love women.
Yes,
and I like attractive women.
Was she wearing a ring, Bubba? Did you take a look at that?
I don't know if she was wearing it. I just know she went and she came to say goodbye to me, and she pressed him right against me, and I was like, "Whew, that's a nice feel. That's an airbag, Willie."
Do you think you're a deviant man, or do you think you're just average horny male?
I think I'm an average horny man. I don't think I'm deviant.
Well, I mean, just yesterday we were watching the Yogi Hug merch crick, and they went chest to chest, and you went crazy there. And now we found out about you slightly stalking Brittany Joyce. I don't know what other women are in the equation.
Well, now, hold on, Dan. Even Dan would appreciate that observation that I made on Brittany Joyce. I mean, that's a newsworthy observation, Seth.
It's detective-like work.
As creepy as you want to make it, this was very much a.
Does it make it hotter, like, to look at a chick knowing she possibly?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, what kind of dude? Like, it'd probably take like a Matt Heller or somebody to really get her excited. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm just, I'd like to be that mid 30-year-old successful millionaire that ends up, grabbing onto that. That's a score.
I mean, you're almost there, Bubba.
No, please. I'm old enough to be her father.
You're on your way to being a 30-year-old millionaire.
I could be Brittany Joyce's father.
Yeah.
So anyway, Buck, to PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, The Bubba Army. Thank you so much, Buck. I appreciate you, my friend. So the Bubba Army royalty rings are in, and Dan, I think you're going to like them because they're gold. They're the first year that they're gold, and they're really gold. Like, it's way over the top gold.
That's awesome.
It's just I made them just a tad smaller than last year's because I thought last year's ring was so big that it was
uncomfortable.
Unsightly. So this is instead of a 7X, this is a 6X.
That's the size of the ring.
Yes. And it's got I think it's got the Ferrari. Does it have the Ferrari signal? I think
it's got the Ferrari horse on it.
I think it's got the Ferrari horse on it.
That. Yeah.
The Ferrari horse on one side, the Fat Man Dunks on the other. Your name, then 2024 on the top of the ring, with some red rubies, all gold. Bubba Army. Now, the Bubba Army, this is the first year that the Bubba Army is covered in cubic zirconias. Like, the actual Bubba Army is not just, metal. It's encrusted with cubic zirconias. So, yeah. I like it. But it's way different. Either you're going to really, really like it or you're not going to like it. So, there'll probably be some people that don't like it, but I went way different this year. Just because, what is this now? Our sixth is our sixth or seventh ring? I think our first ring was 7. Was it 17 or 18?
18.
It was 18.
18, 19.
Yankee chip, $10.
20, 21, 22, 23, 21. So, there's 7 ringers out there.
Yeah, there will be.
Do you have a list of? Would you know of all the 7 ringers?
I don't have an exact.
I think that you don't even know.
No, I do not know, because there's some that obviously,
Do you have 7, Lummy?
No, I have 6.
You only have 6?
I was at 7 parties, but the first year was very difficult.
The first year you were kind of just a part-timer?
Yes.
And then Tuttle drugged you.
Yeah.
With G-Water.
He sure did.
And you ended up in a ditch over by the Holiday Inn.
Yes, that's
which
on a rainy night.
At the end of the day,
he deserves a ring for that, Bubba.
But at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day might have been the accelerant to your divorce.
Oh yes, I mean Tuttle has all the reasons for that one, but also all the reasons why I have a great kid.
You were married before?
He was
yes,
married,
I was married before.
During BARP 1.
Really? Like in 2018, you were married?
Yeah.
Lummy, can we have anybody that's qualified for this year, making them a 7 ringer? Can they reach out to you? Because I think that I think Larry Plummer might be one.
I know there's obviously the Bubba Light, Cable Dog. I believe LM closed. I mean,
I think Scotty Landers,
Scout and Big Gulp.
There might be less.
Airtight Ski Pole.
Joe. Shivering Syrian is biscuit. There's probably maybe less than 15. Would you?
I would say, that's probably about right.
So they had the G20, and they have this big summit every year. And isn't this where the heads of the major countries in the world, the China,
the top 20. This is the 20 biggest economies of the world.
But isn't next year going to be G21, or is it always just G20?
It's G20. There's been other Gs, but usually it's the top 20 nations that have to do with policy and economics.
Like maybe the top 20 gross GP. What do they call it?
Gross domestic products, GDP.
GPD index or something.
Yeah,
GDP.
Yeah, would it be like the top 20 economies in America? I mean, in the world.
It's probably 20 of the top 25. I'm sure there's a couple people missing.
So this is they wanted it. I don't know where it was. Where was it?
I think it was it in Rio?
Yeah, it was in Brazil.
Boy, and can you imagine? So these are the top 20. Big. Putin wasn't there, was he?
No.
So
no, I don't think.
So I think like that's one of the things. Like Putin's been there and not there, off and on over the last 10 years. Sometimes they let him and sometimes they don't.
But think of the security, because each country is bringing their leader, so they have to protect their leader. So just think of the Secret Service / whatever each country's.
It's probably easy, Bubba, because they probably all work together, and as long as they're getting all the right information,
they probably just kind of keep them all herded up as cats.
Right? Yeah, I don't know if they all work as one. I'm sure there's certain people that.
The only person that strays is our guy, Joe. Joe strays because he doesn't really know where he's at.
They need to put like an electric fence on him. What's invisible fences?
They need to put a dog. They need to put a dog collar shocker on Joe, so that when he gets out of the perimeter, he gets shocked.
They can give him a warning buzz and then a real shock.
I know that Dan. I know Dan and Bubba, you guys have not had a lot of like regular jobs in your day, but when you put that 2 weeks notice in, like they've kind of forced Biden to do, you're on cruise control till the last day. You're not doing anything. It doesn't even matter.
Sometimes you don't even make it to the last day. They'll just come to you and say, "Hey, Cush, you can go ahead and leave now.
Yeah.
I know you got 4 more days left, but you're probably just going to be a distraction and spread a bunch of negativity around here about how much the boss sucks and how much you hate him." So
Biden's not. What are they going to do to Biden for wandering off into the forest the other day or missing this picture? He's like nothing. He's like, you can't do anything to me.
Now, can you think of the jobs that you put? I've never put my 2-week notice in. I just get fired. I've never, ever put my 2-week notice in. How many have you put your 2-week notice in, Seth?
I put my 2 weeks notice in at the Bone. I put my they told me to stay home.
Yeah, right.
For 2 weeks.
Right.
Because they didn't
know.
So
let's just go through each place that you've 2-week noticed, and then how long of those 2 weeks did you actually, there's may have been some that let you work all 2 weeks. I know that Clear Channel did.
I did.
Where you most recently came from?
Yeah, I did the 2 weeks notice with Cox. They had me, I think, for 3 weeks where I wasn't on the air. Then I put my 2 weeks notice in at iHeart, and they kept me for an extra 3 months after I did that. And I'm trying to think of
you quit here the first time.
Bake More Pies Next Door. I put my 2 weeks notice in because I was moving to do that radio job in LA at K-Rock. K-Rock, I did not put in any notice whatsoever. I quit abruptly.
Same here.
And
say it. Same here same here.
No, I didn't quit. I put in my notice here.
You did not?
Yes, I did. You told me it ended up not working out. I talked to you. You announced at the end of the show that I was leaving, and everybody got so awkward and weird. They couldn't handle that I wasn't going to be here anymore because they were so happy that I
Really?
Bubba, dude, everybody got really, like, when you announced that I was leaving, everybody just didn't even know how to act for a second. So I think that's when we just decided moving forward it would just be best if I just didn't come in. So I did put it in here, but I did not fill out the actual 2 weeks. I know a lot of people think that I
thought you quit.
Well, you have that video that you have online, the 3-part video of me walking out. It looks like that's the day that I quit, but that's just the day that I walked out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
but it's okay. I mean,
I don't ever foresee that type of adversarial relationship of us ever again. In my opinion, in fact, I don't see that type of adversarial relationship with anybody here. I think we got a really good team that would. I don't think anybody's going to quit. Well, Lovey, you're never quitting.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
I think Mach likes working here. Red's turned the corner on liking this place again. And Seth, I think you like this place.
Yeah.
I think you don't like some parts of this place, but none of which are anybody that's here currently.
Oh God, no! It's it's a lot of the things that just come along with doing this job. But I don't have any issues with anybody that is working on this show, and that's a main thing because
it's just some of your podcasters are pissing you off.
No, not even not even that.
A few.
I cut a couple loose.
So this is the G20 summit, and Joe has been given his 2-week notice, but Joe is at this summit. I mean, like it's almost. I can't even tell you the last time that during these G summits that we were not represented by our president. I don't know that our president, whoever that may be at the time, has ever missed a G20.
Do we even know any of these world leaders? I mean, these are
we should.
They feel like they're secondary.
China's there. Xi's there.
All right, so
from China,
Biden, whoever this person is.
Was it Maloney?
What do they do with these damn things? Like, what are they doing? Are they having parties with like little children?
They're solving the
world's
world's problems.
Parties? Are they just talking about
Dan,
like how
we don't
cool
know.
we are?
We don't go, and the media doesn't really report what they do.
Like, what the F is going on?
This is the first that I've gotten any report from the G20 summit about anything they've talked about, and the only reason they reported this is because Sleepy Joe missed the photo.
Dan, you've been to how many summits and conventions for medicine in your career? You know that nothing goes on at these things. People are just there to go out at night.
Actually, at Dan's,
this is actually teaching.
They actually have like new instruments,
classrooms,
new.
But Dan gets that stuff done in 30 minutes. He can get and then he goes out.
Well, Dan probably knows the ones that he wants to hit and the ones that he doesn't need to hit. Right, Dan? Like, you don't need to learn
Every now and then I have a very strategically planned nap at 2 p.m. because they're talking about something I don't care about.
Right.
Yes.
So here is the G20 official.
But we're not doing pizza and hot dog parties at night,
Biden, I don't know who Maloney is. Is the Maloney? Who's Maloney? Is that the head of where?
It sounds Italian.
Is that the new Italian prime minister?
Biden, Maloney, and Trudeau miss the G20 official photograph, and here's how it goes.
Yeah, Maloney's
Italy's prime minister. That's what I thought.
So they're getting everybody together. Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty.
Oh, they're in. Are they in? Is that Brazil?
They're in Rio de Janeiro.
What? I thought Brazil was like the biggest rape capital of the world. Everyone was trying to stop doing stuff in Brazil.
It is, but the nice $1 resort that they put these leaders of these countries
safe
up.
there.
Oh, it's so locked down.
Okay.
I mean, there's not a bad guy that can get in there. So this is they got a nice stage. And they got all the leaders that we probably were told at one of the summits that we're going to do the picture at whatever time. Make sure you're out back towards the ocean. We're going to have the ocean as an ocean and the mountain as a backdrop. You guys all know where that's at. So have your Secret Service or your security detail bring you out back maybe 5 minutes early. So this is them.
Maybe Biden was on like Kenyan time or something. I mean, maybe his watch got all screwed up.
I think this is
China.
They put him front and center.
China.
He's pissed.
Who's this? The guy of South Africa, maybe?
What? I don't. Why? Because he's black?
Yeah.
Isn't South Africa normally a white? Like
No,
a white?
the indigenous people have taken over.
Actually, Bubba is correct. Actually, that is the president.
Thank you.
of South Africa.
Shut up.
Thank you.
Shut the hell up.
Thank you. You can apologize to me profusely right now.
Can we keep playing this game?
No.
If you're so good at it.
Cyril Ramaphosa.
No, we're not going to play this game. I said this guy was from China and this guy was from South Africa.
And now you're bowing out?
And I would say that
Quit now, Bubba. Quit.
And I would say that maybe this guy might be from Saudi Arabia. This guy back here.
Not that far back. He's probably from Qatar.
Actually, that guy is from Saudi Arabia.
Shut up!
Damn!
Let me
I'm looking at it right now. It's Fazil bin Farin Hassad.
Thank you.
He's
Appreciate
the foreign
everybody.
minister of Saudi Arabia.
What about this?
Appreciate everybody trying to make me look and feel stupid when really, quite frankly, I'm nailing it
You
right
did show
now.
us.
You are.
I just went 3 for 3.
Let me. Who's the guy with the black vest and the yellow handkerchief? Is he from India? Can I put?
I'm like Rodman.
I see.
Do you remember the one time
He was from India. Narendra
You remember
Modi.
the one time Rodman went 3 for 3?
Yeah.
And they were all 3-pointers.
It was a great,
Rodman went against the Bulls, I think it might have been.
He was jumping up and down while he was running down the court.
Rodman went 3 for 3 from 3-point land, all consecutive. Like and Rodman was not a shooter. Rodman was a straight ass pimp rebounder.
The best in the world.
Probably the best, arguably the best rebounder ever to live.
Certainly in his era.
And not a scorer. And there's a game one time that he took the ball out the ball was taken out 3 consecutive possessions and thrown to him, and he hit 3 3-pointers in a row.
Absolutely not. I watched that game live. I remember it. And I just sent it to you.
All right, so send it to me.
What does that have to do with this?
Is that I just went 3 for 3.
Oh, okay.
When you guys think that I'm stupid and I'm Dennis Rodman and I can't score a layup and I'm only good for rebounding, and I just went 3 for 3 on your ass.
He also got married in that wedding dress too.
Yeah.
Naughty boy. Oh.
So they're taking their pictures here.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like the front row's a little more enthusiastic and gay than than rows 2 and 3. They're like, they
are happier. Bisexual
and gay men to the rows 1, straight and otherwise rows 2s and 3s. The guy from Saudi Arabia is like, if I hold another man's hand, I'll get beheaded when I land home.
Oh, there's a little twink from France.
Where?
Right in the middle row.
With his long sideburns.
Now, here's what I understand is why are everybody in the front row holding hands and the rows 2 and 3 refuse to hold hands?
Row 3's picking their nose.
Wouldn't this is all about?
Well, I don't think you can see the hands being held in row 3, Bubba. You know, I mean, you can just see the hands.
So they're taking the picture. Okay. I think the picture is done now, and they're clapping. They're like, okay, we got the picture. Everybody clap. Everybody's free to go. Now watch. So watch this. So they're done with the pictures, and everybody's kind of like free to go. Everybody's kind of wandering around. Now watch this. Everybody, Joe's not there.
Is she from Sweden?
Watch. Hold on. All the leaders are done. They're going to go to the respective security details. Now watch this. Hey, how you doing? Good.
Does Biden make a cameo at the end?
No. Biden comes storming in.
Come on.
No, watch.
I'm ready.
I've watched this already, so I know how funny it is. You can see now, and you can testify, and you can agree with me that the stage now is almost all dissipated.
Yes,
almost everybody has left.
It's wrapping up.
The crowd's gone home. Yeah.
Right. The stage is now 80% abandoned.
Right.
And people are making their way. Even the guy from Saudi Arabia, he's making his way slowly from 3 to 2.
He's trying to buy some more countries on the way.
He's trying to sell more oil. Hey, I heard you guys are a little low on oil. How much? You need some oil? We got it at 65 a barrel right now. It could be going up. Now look at this. Here comes Biden and his guys. Look, right there. Look. Here comes Biden. Here comes Biden.
This is more on America than it is Biden.
Look.
He's like, what? We missed it?
Oh, man.
Puts on
him and Trudeau.
Oh, Trudeau, yeah.
Oh, really? They're giving each other massages before the picture?
So it looks like Trudeau turns to Biden right here. Look at it and says something. Look. Well, it looks like we missed this one, Joe.
That's like showing up to class late. The teacher's locking the door on your ass.
Yeah, no doubt.
Bubba,
and they didn't even have the respect to say, hey, hold on, like let me. There's a Wrangler there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They could be like, all right, listen, everybody. We President Trudeau from Canada and President Biden from the United States of America. They made a mistake and didn't get here on time. So could we get everybody? It's only going to take like 5 minutes. Could we get everybody back in your stage in your same positions? We'll sprinkle them in over there by the Chinese guy and the South African guy. And we're so sorry. But Joe and Jack are very, 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 very influential, and they very much are big time hitter. We need them. We need them in the pit.
That's up to his handlers, isn't it, Bub? Joe Biden's not looking at going, oh, it's 12 o'clock. It's time for my pictures.
It's that he's mishandled. Listen, here's the deal. Half of Joe's problems are not his fault.
I agree with you, Bubba, here. And I totally agree.
Can I give you an example?
Yes.
Let me give you 2 examples. This is one of them. This is not his fault.
No, it's his people, and they're not really respecting the time of other people.
But it makes him look stupid.
Yes.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're not blaming, Jim McGillicuddy, who's his, main, scheduler and handler, and
who's been updating his LinkedIn every day now.
Right, exactly.
looking for a new job.
But at the end of the day, nobody blames Jim McGillicuddy. Everybody says, man, Biden looks stupid. He looks disheveled. He can't even tell time. He can't be there on time. It's not Joe's fault.
He didn't look stupid here. He just looked like uninterested.
Trudeau looks stupid.
Trudeau looks stupid.
And then the other incident is this. Remember when he was riding his bike and he fell off?
Yes.
His handler, whoever his handler was, should have said, we need to equip a bike that does not have locked-in foot pegs because it's a photo op. He's going to come down this trail. Listen, Joe didn't bike more than 400 yards. They had him coming around this trail. There's a tree line. That's where they started, and then he crossed this road and he was supposed to stop at where the press pool was on the other side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was staged. So you could literally have given Joe a beach cruiser with big fat balloon tires that easily navigate through sand and had him just roll. He could have rolled up in a Pee Wee Herman bike for all you matter. He's just on a leisurely bike stroll, but instead they give him like a Tour de France,
No, they didn't, Bubba. They did worse. They gave him a 25-year-old, crappy, rusty, salted-out Trek that was from the 90s, and I can't believe they let the president on that hunk of shiz.
Right.
It was a borderline Huffy.
And the biggest mistake is they
pedals.
They put the lock-in.
Yeah, this is old school lock-ins.
Old lock-in pedals, and even the most experienced bikers like Dan, who have biked thousands of miles and are 50 years younger than your president, 40 years younger than the president, have a problem sometimes with these old school locked-in pedals. Even Dan, sometimes it's a little sketch as to whether he can get his shoe out in time before the bike slows down and falls over.
We used to call them SPD wrecks when your feet get locked in at like a stop sign and you go over like a tree.
So the bottom line is the handler should have said, let's put Joe on the most user-friendly bike.
A new one.
That he can stop. And he has tennis shoes or some type of other shoe that's not locked in, and he can stop right there at the press, straddle the bike. The bike. Obviously, the bike's not too big, because sometimes if you straddle a bike that's too big for you, you can't touch.
Yes, you have your tippy toes.
You get a bike that that his balls straddle. His old grandpa balls will be on either side of the thing, and he can stop. So from being late to the G20 summit to the bike ride catastrophe, like that. These are both situations that made him look old and feeble, but really wasn't his fault. They really weren't his fault. They set him up to look stupid. I mean, now 50% of his stupidity is on him, but 50% of it's on his handlers.
Yeah,
they don't handle him correctly.
I agree, and they should keep him away from babies.
Do you think it was a big coup with all of his handlers around him to try to make him look stupid over the last few months to get Kamala in there?
No, I think they're DEI. I think they're DEI hires who don't know. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory to make him look stupid. I think it's the culture of his government is to hire just willy-nilly anybody who meets the certain requirements of a DEI hire instead of those that are most qualified to lead him into various media situations and make him look his best, which might not be a black African-American woman who has never handled anybody important before but met DEI qualifications. Instead, that white guy who's handled, 5 senators and 4 congressmen over his past 22 years splendidly, he doesn't get hired because he's a white 52-year-old male.
The other thing that
the 29-year-old African-American female, she checks all the DEI boxes. She's never handled anybody important, and that's what you get.
And they haven't fired anyone in that administration. They don't hold anyone accountable for any mistake. They just say, sorry, it was a mistake, and you just got to deal with it.
The guy that, or whoever the DEI jobber that put him in the bike scenario, they didn't get fired.
No.
The person that did, well, it's too late.
The Secret Service person did get knocked out for the assassination attempt. That was the only person that's been held accountable.
That's so egregious. Like, that's so far. That's such a derelict of duty that it was even touch and go whether that bitch was going to get fired.
Yeah, good riddance with her.
And she almost killed Trump.
Yeah.
Like the Secret Service and their lack of manpower and their dereliction of duty damn near got. I mean, I don't know that might be the luckiest moment in the history of our country.
It probably was, Bubba. I agree it was. It was just a sudden, unplanned, not supposed to be there turn, because that slide wasn't supposed to be there at that time. It was random. It was just bizarre that he happened to turn his
Something
head.
caught his attention. It was that graft. It was that immigration graft.
Yeah, it's usually at the end of the show, not at the beginning of the show. It was in a different location in his presentation.
Might be the luckiest thing to ever happen to our country. Because if he gets his head blown off, I don't know. Let's protocolally think about what happens.
He's probably not president.
He's not.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
But Matt Gaetz paid 2 women to cross state lines to fuck him.
I don't think Matt Gaetz was a good idea. I think that was just an unnecessarily polarizing choice.
That's what the attorney told the House Ethics Committee that I guess doesn't get actually used against him now.
Yeah.
I saw Mike Huckabee's the ambassador to Israel. That's pretty cool, the old huckster. Going to Tel Aviv, partying it up, Wailing Wall.
So Cable Dog.
Yeah, she resigned. She didn't even get fired. I like Matt Gaetz. I don't know if those allegations are real or not. I just think that it was probably an unnecessarily polarizing and controversial pick.
Yeah.
But he may have done that on purpose to take the heat off of other picks. You know, make one outrageous pick and let everyone talk about that and not, 5 tweeners.
Yeah.
Big, longer. Thomas Gilson. Jeff Fearson. Good morning. J. Law, Bronco, you may be right. It could have been all bullshit. Allegations. Schmalegations.
Oh, those rings are in the kitchen.
All right, have everybody go look at them. Everybody go look at them, and then bring back your comments.
But not the ring.
Yeah.
Understood, sir.
Would it trouble you to just be a degree down in here?
No, not at all.
Sir?
Actually, I'm actually hot one, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, sir. It's very crisp outside.
Hey, Seth.
Yes.
Good drink. Don't bring it in.
Oh, well.
Homework. Where's Mommy? Hey, Mommy? Yeah. Look at the ring real fast. I'll just probably open up Bubba's so it's easy to get to. Bubba wants to know your opinion on it.
Shit, I opened up mine.
What's that?
I opened up my ring.
You're supposed to.
No, I know. I just busted the packaging and stuff.
Of course you did.
It's awesome, Bubba.
Yeah. Very pretty.
What do you say? $109.95 or best offer?
Is it autographed?
What's that?
Is the box autographed?
No. Just the ring. The ring and the box.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Merch Crick brought down the rings. We'll talk about those momentarily. She also listed 3 new products, limited stock items on Bubba Army Merch, Bubba Army Shop, BubbaArmyStore.com. She's got a limited number as she's going through her inventory and doing reorders and things like that. She just put her order in, the big, huge order in for the Bubba Army Alpha Volume 25.
How many are you ordering of those? Is that private?
Yeah, private number.
Okay.
But a large, very large.
More than
number.
last year?
Double.
Okay.
But she has a limited amount of Bubba the Love Sponge Polar Camel tumblers, the 20-ounce. She has a limited amount of the Bubba Army stainless steel Arctic tumbler, 20-ounce black custom. And I think she has a limited number of Bubba Army baseball snapback black hats. And she has, Lummy, some overstocked. She found, I don't know how many pairs, like maybe 8 to 9 pairs of the Jordan-inspired Bubba Army 2 Fat Man Dunks.
Nice.
The black and red.
You got some? Didn't you get the bigger sizes of the Operation Pigmentation shirts?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I thought those came in.
I'll have to ask later at a later date.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So everybody, the rings are in.
Awesome.
And Dan, I think it's really was it's kind of Dan Diaco inspired because it's gold with a Ferrari. So it's
got the microphone, not the Ferrari.
Oh, it has the microphone, not the Ferrari.
Last year was the Ferrari.
Last year was a Ferrari.
But it's got the gold and it's beautiful, Bubba. It's a beautiful ring.
It is. Do you notice that the chevrons are solid? Usually those are little diamonds. Those are solid this year, and then I put the diamonds on the Bubba Army, in itself.
Yeah, the contrast is beautiful. The black, the red, and the gold together looks awesome, dude.
It's
home run.
It's way different than the 6 other rings we've manufactured. Lummy,
Yes.
Don't tell me what I want to hear. Do you like it?
It's one of the nicest ones out of all of them.
You think so?
Yeah, it might be my favorite.
Seth,
Seth didn't like the ring. He liked the box.
Well, he tore the box up.
No, the case that lights up. He was more enamored by that than the ring.
I thought that was cool because that's what all the Super Bowl guys get. Like their case lights up and normally sings a song and plays highlights from their season. But I enjoyed the light. Like it's like when you watch Pulp Fiction and they open up that briefcase and it kind of like it's
glows.
Yeah, it's glowing. Like that was the initial feeling when I opened up. I was like, oh my God, is this real for a second?
We changed the boxes this year to like a blue suede, and then when you open it up, it's got this little light that illuminates that kind of that lights the ring
Pops
up a little.
it, man. It goes pop when you open it up.
I don't know if Rhett and Macho got an opportunity to see their rings or not. Or Rhett, did you get a chance to see your ring?
No, we're no. Is it in the kitchen? No.
Yeah. So next break or whenever you guys
Bring
feel
one back.
free.
Okay,
you
I'll
guys,
go. Yeah, sorry, we're both cutting some stuff up. We didn't.
Editing bay.
Yeah.
You guys are in the editing bay. Perfect. So I think, like if I try to think about like what Cable Dog and Bubba Light and Heather Wiz and all the, Iggy, and I try to think how they will like this, and I think everybody's going to like it.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
It's a step down than last year, just because last year's was too much. It was just too much. I think this is a very big ring, but it's a perfect size ring. It's big enough to be gaudy and very noticeable, but doesn't take up like the other ring last year took up like almost 2 fingers. Like it was almost a 2-fingered ring. It went over to the other side of your finger. So anyway, isn't it Lummy? It's so cool in the fact that we got a little system now with Ashley, and Merch Crick, and you and me, where we quickly approve of everybody that's qualified, and get the VIPs and everybody, and get their ring size. And I mean, look, here it is. I mean, there's been years. Wasn't there one year when we didn't even get them?
Afterwards,
we didn't get them. At BARP. We didn't have your ring because the manufacturer. I've changed manufacturers. The manufacturer that I was using, messed up or something like that, and we didn't get them till like.
It was during the COVID time too, with the shipping, and it was a.
Now we're so efficient. And I'm using here's the deal. I like the ring person that I've had. Now this is the 3rd ring that I've done with them. That they get me. Like, look how we have plenty of time. We have enough time, Lummy, that I can go through all of them. If we missed one, now it's going to cost me a lot. Like if I did miss somebody, it's going to be like almost double the cost just for because they're only going to
make a couple.
Well, because they're only going to make
batch.
1 or 2 instead of making 200 or whatever. So we're able to. That's one thing that me and the Merch Crick are going to do today is we're going to go through all of them to make sure we have all of them because it never fails. Like last year, Lummy, we forgot Brandon the Quads.
Yes, we did.
And he didn't get his until later. So we're going to go through them.
But he got some of that Poontang Hatley, right?
Yes.
So, it's easy to forget a ring when he's getting that prize.
True.
Yeah, he got a ring.
Hope I'm not giving nothing away, but the box having the light inside is pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see those?
Yes. You talked about, but what did Mach say in the back?
He said
it's something about lasers.
He's Mach is still not quite.
He's still drunk.
Down.
Yeah, he's still not quite right.
You think it's from the Jaeger still?
Oh yeah, he
just takes a couple days.
Takes a long time.
And all the Hall of Fame busts are done.
All the Hall of Fame busts.
Really?
Yes, all the busts are done. He's just painting them. They're all done.
Yep.
The rings are done.
Any busts look really bad this year?
No.
No, they all look great.
We got to have red. Don't we have red?
He needs to build
some shelves.
Yeah.
And I know that John from Precision is doing the placards.
Yeah, he has all the names. So yeah, he's making those.
So yeah, I mean,
where are you going to put the extra shelves, Bubba? To the outside of those, or underneath them, or
over there?
Okay, like behind the couch.
No. On the wall.
Oh, just to the right, directly to the right.
Right.
Okay, I can see.
So I got. How many rows of shelves? We have what? How many rows? 4 rows of shelves?
Yes.
So we're able to do 4 rows of shelves over there.
Got 48 up already.
And then we can do 4 rows of shelves on the sliding glass door part, which they won't be as long of shelves. And then I don't know, Lummy, I don't know. I mean, we were never anticipating that maybe we would even be in business this long.
Are you going to have to slow down the inductees like baseball where they have to get at least 70% of the vote to get in?
Lummy, how many inductees did we have this year? 10?
Damn.
I think 12.
It was like the college playoffs. Let's let USF in.
Let me, those are notes you're supposed to have in your newly
we're 12.
in your newly formed show Bible.
I have them. I just had to count them.
Can you go through the names?
Mike Thurman, Nikki Peeled, Brian from Philly, Stanley Sniper, whatever his name, Melissa Carpenter, Neil Mount Plaisir, Fish on J, Bob Cook, Tease, Adam Nelson, Napa Mike, and not Stop and Go. See what's his name? It's I have SAGT. It's
Sergeant Slaughter.
Semi-auto glass Travis.
Oh, semi-auto glass Travis.
Yes.
There's your 7. And there's your 12.
Yes.
They're all worthy.
Of course.
Yeah, and see, Dan, the reason why I make it 12 is because I think there's 6 busts per shelf. So that will take up exactly 2 shelves. There won't be an oddball guy laying over there all by himself on. So I need to put up 2 shelves to accommodate the Hall of Fame. But Lummy, if Big Red's going to put up 2 shelves, he might as well put up 4.
Yeah, just make it look good, uniformed.
And Dan, we never thought that we would, that we'd be able to keep this thing going.
It's a great problem to have, isn't it?
We never knew that financially we would grow digitally the way, as we were losing radio affiliates or
Twitch was suspending us.
Or Twitch was suspending us. And I got an announcement for our YouTube listeners that in a couple days we've since asked, we've filled out the application process. But you're going to be able to subscribe to YouTube, and that's I think it's $4.99 a month. Now listen, everything that you know about YouTube stays the same as far as the functionality of YouTube, being able to watch any video for free, being able to watch us live for free, being able to go back to any archive video. You could go back and watch, I don't know, the Firecracker Challenge from 2017. I mean, quite extensive. How many videos do we have? Like a couple thousand, maybe 1,500, 1,000? You might be able to.
I'm trying to look at.
Like we have thousands of videos, but if you become a member, you're going to part of being a member is when we do our podcasting, you'll be able to visually watch us do our podcasting. That's the number one benefit of being a member. It's going to be $4.99 a month, and you don't have to do it.
4,200 videos.
How many?
4,200 and change.
4,200 videos. And so that, again, if you just subscribe for free, just follow us and get a notification for free, you can see every one of those 4,200. You can watch us live. You can go back and replay anything. The only difference is if you're a member, all of our podcasts that we do that you really can't watch because it's just a podcast, you'll be able to watch it. I think that's the main, and we're looking to see if you get commercials or not. We've looked at it and seen both answers. Yes, you don't. Yes, you still get commercials, or no, you don't. I don't know. We don't know about that. Let me fish on the J25. And now is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Fish on the J. I think it was really brought. It finally became a thing, the Donald Trump dance, which to me just looks like an old guy shaking his hands. It's like almost like a beach towel floss, like you're flossing like a beach towel underneath your chin. I don't know. But it was really, I think it now has been pop culturized by the fact that a couple boxers at UFC, this past UFC pay-per-view, John Jones versus whoever the guy was. John Jones.
By the way, that guy had a broken and lacerated spleen, kidney, and broken ribs.
Are you serious?
The guy he won?
The guy that got the heel kick.
The guy that got the kick, yeah. They were because.
So upon further, so it took him down immediately.
Now, I'm no UFC expert. I just saw it on Twitter, but it said,
wow.
That's what it said. Kidney lacerations, whatever I meant, and then broken ribs, yeah.
Let me send me the kick. Okay. I think Dan saw it yesterday.
Yeah, it didn't look that brutal. It just kind of looked like a kick. You know what I mean? Dan, it just kicked to the side.
Okay,
you heard the sound.
On a human body, probably besides the elbow, the heel is the most toughest thing you have on your body.
Yeah.
I mean,
more than a knee, even.
Oh, yeah. A knee is,
A knee can shatter.
Yeah, but
it's hard to shatter a heel.
If you can literally, literally take your foot right now and jam the heel.
Right. You can't do that to your knee or your fist.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you could swing your heel harder than any other part of your body without hurting it.
Now, if you look at the structure of is the bone thicker on the heel?
Oh, it's a giant bone. It's a big, thick, heavy bone.
It's almost like an anvil-like hammer, is it not?
Yes, it's got a big ball at the bottom.
And so when you take that thing attached to a 6'4", 245-pound African-American beast.
Right.
I sent it to you.
You sent it to me, Lummy? And he's swinging that bitch around town, and it connects. And so now, Lummy, will you verify what Seth said and see if they have a?
No, yeah, I'm trying to find it.
So there's a rib, a spleen, and what else?
A rib, a spleen, and kidney.
You guys, a kidney contusion too?
It looked like a
Dan,
lacerated.
when you lacerate a kidney, what does that mean?
It bleeds. It's a cut. It's a rip. So the spleen bleeds worse.
Does that mean like a rib went into the kidney to cut it?
It could have just been it could have just been the heel. The kidney's really far back, and the spleen is pretty far back. It's hard to get to those two guys.
I want to get the
They're
actual
protected.
impact. Big kick. Two things. I'm going to run it real time, Lummy, and then I'm gonna slow mo it.
To the body by John.
And Lummy, we're calling with a broken rib, a lacerated spleen, and kidney. Is that what the official?
They're saying. Well, it looks like his manager is saying
he didn't break any bones.
That he didn't break any bones, but there was definitely lacerated spleen and kidney in there.
Oh,
so that's just blunt force trauma, and that just shows you. Remember Chris Sims? Remember Chris Sims from the Bucks?
Yes.
He had a lacerated spleen from a tackle.
And your dad
diagnosed it when everyone said my dad was crazy, and he's like, "Hey, it's not." Dad's like, get him to the hospital immediately. We get to the hospital because I'm in the ambulance with him. The ER doc's like, saying, "Hey, Chris, don't worry. We got to do an MRI or a CT scan. It's Dr. Diaco thinks your spleen may be ruptured, but I think you're okay. Don't worry about it." We put him in the CT scanner, and in the CT scanner, he starts crashing, and it goes to an emergency surgery, and they save his life.
So, by the way, Jones said that I didn't hit Stipe's liver. It just sends shockwaves through a person's body. It can break a bone. It's just a really powerful shot. So I'm really proud of landing that.
Here we go. Watch this.
No kidding.
Look at this.
Back.
Ooh, yeah. That's right. That's right between the spleen and the kidney. Because look how far back it is on him. It looked like it was his stomach at first, but that's like literally underneath his latissimus. That's
kick to the bottom.
Man. Could not kill. Now, Dan, untreated, can that kill a guy?
Absolutely.
Spinning back.
Absolutely. Lethal. Yes,
now,
you bleed out.
All right, so how do you repair it? Emergency surgery?
Emergency surgery, and you tie off you clamp off the vessels to the spleen and to the kidney, and then you ascertain whether or not you can salvage them. If it's too badly damaged, you cut it out and remove it. You don't need either one.
You don't need. Hold on. You don't need a kidney or a spleen?
Well, you have two kidneys, so if you lose one and the other one's fine, you're fine. My grandmother lived with one kidney for like 75 years, and your spleen is unnecessary. If you lose your spleen, you just have to take a vaccine for pneumococcal pneumonia.
Tucked under.
Right underneath it. It's so far back. Like I thought it was going to be like in the solar plexus. You know what I mean? Like underneath the ribs.
Right to the ribs. Nasty.
And Dan, if you get that type of trauma and you immediately lacerate your spleen and kidney, is that taking you right down to your knees immediately?
Oh, the pain. I can't imagine.
Unbelievable performance.
Then he comes in here and gives him a couple that'll learn you. Watch.
A shutout. Pitched a shutout against what we thought was
BAM!
Wow. Probably going to be his biggest test.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Especially in this weight class.
Body.
Especially in this weight class.
Yeah.
You expected it to be tougher.
It looked like
So, Dan, if he did indeed suffer those things like Seth said, he probably was in an emergency surgery that night, was he not?
Oh, yeah.
Heavyweight, but moved like a light heavyweight. And
now this is the new Donald Trump dance that everybody is calling and pop culturally calling the Donald Trump dance right here.
That's the 235-pound weight.
And to me, it just looks like an old guy dance.
Yeah.
It is. It's a 3-second like meme dance or a GIF.
Football players have been doing it too.
Yeah, they have they?
And
yeah.
I heard they cut an interview short because they were talking to a football player about it, and they cut the interview short.
Trump's signature dance is now a global phenomenon as athletes adopt the move in droves. John Jones did it on Saturday. Did any football players do it in a celebratory type way during a touchdown this past Sunday?
Yes, and the NFL's trying to comment and
Now,
and bury
why?
it.
Why should they?
I don't know. You can kneel, but you can't do the Trump dance.
To me, he looks old when he does it.
Have you seen the Kamala thing?
No.
I sent Lummy. It's like the Kamala dance party that they made like into a song with girls dancing to it.
You're gonna have to IM it to me.
It's gonna take me a minute. It's on my phone.
USA, let's go.
Now, does it got to be with the YMCA? And if the Village people, anybody ask them if they're able to use the song or not? Because a lot of time an artists will say, man, I don't want to be associated with that guy.
The Village people seem to be bipartisan. Like, I think they'll take checks from wherever they
You're
can come
right.
in from.
They're like, man, if we can get some residual rights on this.
What do you guys think about my version of the Donald Trump? Check it out. USA, let's go.
So there you have it. The Donald Trump dance is a pop culture phenomenon being adopted by NFL celebrations. John Jones winning, lacerating a man's kidney and spleen, and his defense of his heavyweight title at UFC. And then we got somebody on the phone. Hello,
I sent you Dr. Dan's thing.
All right, thanks. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Doing good. This is a little off topic, but Moscow has just claimed that Ukraine shot 6 long-range U.S. missiles into Russia.
It's gonna be World War III, like I said.
All right, so you're
saying I didn't know if y'all had covered that or not. I just tuned in and started listening, but I figured I'd call and let y'all know, and I can hang up and listen to the
perfect.
Listen to the chatter.
Listen to 5 minutes and 20 seconds of commercials, and we'll come back. I'll have Lummy bird dog that. If indeed that is being reported, I'll bird dog it, and we'll have it for you on the backside. Okay, buddy?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Feels like a significant escalation. Does the U.S. actually, and President Biden gave the blessing to Vladimir Zelensky to use these very big missiles a couple of days ago. Does that come with a guarantee that if Russia escalates, the U.S. is there to protect them?
Well, I think that this is a slew of questions that we do not yet have the answers to, Francine. And just to recap some of the news that we just got in the last few minutes, because this all feels fairly significant, is what we got from Vladimir Putin was signing into a decree allowing Russia to fire nuclear weapons in response to any kind of massive conventional attack on its soil. That would include drones, that would include presumably long-range missiles, that Russia would view aggression against itself or its allies.
Missiles, ATACMS, they call it Army Tactical Missile Systems, on an ammunition site in a conflict area near the after the decision was taken. So we've had this report that says the very first strike did happen on this Ami first.
Allies by non-nuclear state backed by other nuclear powers as a joint attack. In summary, basically saying that if there was an attack on Russia by a member on this sort of German bonds have been being bought up, you see the
Strike using these Western-made longer-range missiles. Strike.
Guess what? Russia isn't going to do shit.
Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Beyonce.
Okay.
Takes 40 fucking minutes to get here. You get it fucking melted. Bullshit. Maybe I don't have one of those.
I wonder if these are the bombs that everybody autographed.
I know. Isn't that ironic? Tim Walz's fucking autograph's going to start World War III.
Well, I mean, you knew this shit was coming. Like, they were, I mean, you know.
I was.
It was going from PA to Ukraine.
Less than 686.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
BubbaArmyPics@gmail.com. Please send your selfies modeling your Bubba Army swag. Creative Services has a few instructions when doing so. Please do not just screenshot your pic and then just send it, wasting valuable screen space. Please crop your pics and frame them correctly. This is the year 2024. We have faith in you, Bubba Army. Also, you must have Bubba Army swag or someone from the show in the picture. This is not your photo wall. It's the Bubba Army photo wall. Get with the program. If you can follow those simple instructions, we will see you on the wall. Again, send your pics to BubbaArmyPics@gmail.com. Now back to the show.
Live from the Canabieto studios, and you can see the Canabieto big can in the back, and it's the only. Seth, have you taken a liking to it at all?
I drank it a lot in the content house.
God, I love it. Somebody hands me a thing of water and it's in a plastic. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm like so addicted to water in a can. And there's several different brands you can choose from. Our brand is Aqua Vieto. I think, they just got 7-Eleven distribution.
Yes.
Is what we're hearing. So you can go to Aqua Vieto, AquaBeato.com. And I think within that world you can order some, and you can also use a Bubba promo code.
It's easier for them at aquabieto.com/Bubba.
There you go. aquabieto.com/Bubba. Get you in the Bubba world. Let me, as you know, I'm leaving Thursday. I get back Sunday early. Can't miss the Packers 1 o'clock. Maybe it's a 4:25 game. I don't know if it's a 4:25 or it's a 1 o'clock Packers Niners at Lambeau. But I just looked at the weather for Warsaw. Thursday's low, first of all, with snow showers, low 30, high 39. Friday, low 30, night of the ball game, low 36 with rain. That's some good-ass football weather. I bet you the Merch Crick doesn't even go to the game. I bet you she stays at the house with Mary Lou.
Because it's too cold?
Yeah, it's way too cold. And then Saturday, low 33, high 40. And then I'm out of there on Sunday.
Are you going to be able to speak with the team before their game?
No, I'm not there.
Just
no.
like, hey, boys, listen, I played back in 1962, and I flew up here. I took the day off work, so don't let me down. We got heavy money with the boys riding on you guys, so at least score 28. Have fun.
No, I'm not. I'll talk to the coach probably Friday, before the game, just to say hi, because Coach Curtis and his son Michael are friends of me and Larry. Larry's very close to him. So, no, there's no need for...
What if he asks you to talk?
He's not going to ask me to. Do
you have one in you?
No, because he's got a very stringent schedule.
They've never been this far before, though, Bubba.
I know, but that schedule does not involve me at all.
Takes a village.
And nor do I want it to. He's got a very strict schedule. And, me and Larry and I have talked to the team like mid-season before. This is just all bets are off. This is uncharted territory, and there's nothing that I can say that can prepare them any more than they already are by a Hall of Fame coach in Bart Curtis.
That's what you should say. There's nothing I can say.
You could do it like a Jameis Winston sort of motivational.
And start eating W's?
Yeah.
Right,
Jeez.
And Coach Bart Curtis would probably clothesline me right there.
If Bubba started licking his fingers, the kids would pass out.
If Larry didn't first clothesline me, then I would get clotheslined by Bart or his son, listen, Bart Curtis's son, Michael, who I think's going to probably end up being the coach when Bart finally retires. See, Bart Curtis retired, Lummy, after I don't know how many state championships he won with Mishawaka, but he was a Hall of Fame, Indiana Hall of Fame coach, and then Warsaw coerced him out of retirement to come, turn the program around. And God has, please, we're going to semi-states. We never made it this far and Warsaw has had football since the 1800s.
Really?
Yes. Let me look up Warsaw Tiger football first year. I think it's like 8. Larry, literally, I'm not kidding you, Dan. Like, Warsaw football has been around longer than the NFL. I think it goes back to like 1899 or 1898 or something like that. And in 120 plus years, they've never made it this far. Like, this is very...
It's a long drought.
They never made it
4 generations.
Yeah. So, this is, very much a big thing.
1901.
I'm sorry. Dan, they've been around, what?
123 years.
123 years.
Without a championship.
That's where they're worse than the Cubs.
Thank God.
Seth, wasn't the Cubs in that era like 108 years or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wish they could get back there.
So Bart Curtis, man, he is a Hall of Fame coach, and some brilliant person within the Warsaw Community Schools said, hey, I heard Bart Curtis retired from Mishawaka and might want to get back into coaching. So he's been here 8 years now. Dan, in 8 years, he's been able to turn... Dan, this program sometimes won 1 or 2 games a year.
And you can't really recruit in high school.
No, you
just got to build them from scratch.
You got to build it.
You got to take that piece of wood and turn it into a trophy.
Do you know how he did it?
Hard work, discipline, a plan.
This is how he did it. All that and more. Like when he talks, the answer is yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like everything's. First of all, he teaches these boys to be men.
That's important, and no one does that anymore, Bubba. It's such a rarity for it to be even okay to say that out loud. And I'm teaching this boy to be a man.
And you got to be in a community like Warsaw, Indiana, because if you're in a big, like a bigger city, they're going to joke on you.
Well, Jesuit does that. Jesuit does that specifically, and Jay'll talk to you about that.
Hold on, Jesuit does it specifically, and tell me how successful their program is.
Unbelievable.
One of the most successful in this area. Probably next to Armwood and IMG. Jesuits has the 3rd best program
Yes, and Jay just walked in, and Jay will tell you that was one of the most poignant things that stuck to him. Poignant things that stuck to him at the very beginning is the head of the school said, "I am here to teach your boys to become men."
Yeah, Bart Curtis, when he's like, "Okay, I need everybody here at the field tomorrow at 6:00." Yes, sir.
Well, their motto is men for others. And so the very first parent interaction, Father Hermes came out and said, this is a liberal arts school, not liberal in the sense of political, liberal in the sense of liberate your mind. We teach science, social studies, mathematics. We try to prepare we don't try, he said, we turn your children into men for others. And so you don't have to wonder, what is a man? What is a boy? My little boy has transitioned into quite a young man right now. And he's not quite there yet. He's a senior, getting accepted to all the schools he wanted to go to. And I would say the single best decision I did for my family was sending my kid to Jesuit.
And for the little bit, I think he dabbled in football for a couple years.
He did it for a year until he realized that people were your size and much faster and bigger than him.
He had Bubba Clems that were running around doing 4.5s.
He did.
Yeah.
He realized very quickly
But
that
I guarantee
puberty's not fair, is it?
But I guarantee you,
it's not.
But I guarantee you that it was very much instilled. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Oh,
yes, sir. Like, I mean, that's
he
very
would walk
much.
right up to Seth and say, "Nice to meet you, sir." I'd look him right in the face and shake his hand.
So here's like a thing, for instance.
I hate being a sir.
When yeah, it makes you feel old.
It's all right,
I hate being a sir.
I kind of like it now.
Sir crept up on me fast.
When Larry and I, in the few times that we've talked to the team, it's after a practice, and we'll talk, just about trying to motivate them. And Larry's coached the Young Tigers in fact, Larry's the president of Young Tigers, and he's very good at motivating young men and talking, sports and stuff. And so we both went up and did our kind of thing, and without being told, there's probably 65 or 70 guys on the varsity squad. After we're done and practice was over, without being told by Coach Curtis or any of the coaches, each kid walked up to us, looked us in the eye, and said, "Thank you for your speech, sir." Every one of them. And I was just like, man, kids aren't wired like that in today's world. But when you go into a small community like Warsaw, then you're not going to get a bunch of woke ass people that, says, "My kid, he shouldn't have to say sir. It just seems so authoritarian." And so there's none of that.
I learned how to be a gentleman through working through the show. I call you sir. Every morning I say hello, sir, Seth Kushner.
I don't demand that.
I even said sir to you a few minutes ago.
But
just
here's
reflexively, because you said something kind of as authoritative position, and I was like, "Yes, sir."
Okay, but I'm not. Listen,
you don't demand it. It's just something that it's something that men that respect each other will say to each other.
Yeah. So anyway, this is how Bart Curtis single-handedly turned a basketball town into a football town, and turned, a 124-year drought into now they're one of 4 teams left in the entire state tournament.
Do you want to do a doc on this guy? The story of Bart Curtis from basketball to football.
But here's what he did. Is he went into, now in Warsaw, you got the high school team, which is 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I think this is the way most places operate. Then at that point, you got youth football. You got 7th and 8th. And then you got, 5th, 6th, 5th and 6th. And that's all part of the Young Tigers program. It's all, like...
It's like junior midget football, Pee-wee football?
It's like Pee-wee. It's like Pop Warner.
It's pads, but pads and helmets.
Right, but, you get to pads when you get to 7th grade.
Right.
So 4th, 5th, and 6th is like flag. And then 7, 8, 7 and 8, 6, 7, and 8 are pads, and then 9th you're a freshman. But what he went down to is his Young Tigers program, and he implemented his offense and defense there. So these 9 or 10 coaches that he has from all these kids, they all run the same offense and they all run the same defense, which is his offense and defense. Back prior to him, The head coach of the high school will be like, man, I'm not going down there to these 10 different coaches and teaching them. They need to run whatever offense they want. I don't got time to police them, and I don't have that time. Bart Curtis made time to make sure that in the youngest level of people that play football in Warsaw, 4th grade, when you're in 4th grade and you're playing flag football, Dan, you're running the same offense that the high school's running.
It's like the Bill Walsh program. It's like the West Coast offense
and so,
for Warsaw.
So by the time a kid gets to 9th grade, he's been 4, 5, 6. For 5 years, he's ran your offense and defense.
So he knows the terms, knows the philosophy of it, knows where he's supposed to be,
knows the plays,
yeah.
And that's smart. And then you just do an extensive conditioning program, and then listen to this. This is one of the greatest things. So when you're a senior or a junior and you're a starter on Warsaw High football, you're a starter. You are looked up to by not only the community, but all these, these hundreds of kids that are in your program. The 4th graders, the 5th graders, the 6th graders, the 7th graders, the 8th graders, the 9th graders. They're all like, wow, that's such and such, and he's the starting quarterback for the big team. Well, if you're a starter or on the varsity squad, you have to once a week go down to the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and talk to the kids and help with practice.
That's a great idea. And, Plant and Jesuit and Robinson should be doing this with the flag football teams.
So they make
around town. That makes perfect sense.
They make their junior. If you're a starter, you're required to once a week. And you're assigned what team you go to infuse yourself
like a big brother.
It's
a great idea.
And run plays with them, and help the coach.
It's brilliant.
Gives you carte blanche basically, and you'll be the quarterback for a couple plays and hand off to the kid, or you're not there to hurt him or anything like that. You're there to just be there.
I understand
to be there to be
motivating
there.
and teaching and
so
inspiring.
They go home and they're like, Mom, the starting offensive tackle today came to in this little 4th grader, 5th grader. The starting offense, Johnny McGillicuddy, he came down, the starting right tackle for Warsaw High. He came down to my practice today and taught me how to do a couple different things with my feet and stuff.
Yeah, that's important stuff. I agree, Bubba.
And
Makes sense.
and he's just absolutely built a fabric of enthusiastic, and they're all on the same page. And then listen to this. It even goes down to the cheerleaders. So they're little girls that are like Seth's girls' age, like 7 and 8. These little girls that are cheerleaders for the flag football team, on Friday night, they get to come and wear their little uniform and join the big cheerleaders until halftime. So they're out there doing cheers with the big girls, because girls matter. I mean, these girls, these little cheerleaders.
That's a real sport, by the way.
Yeah, and they look up to the girls in high school.
For sure.
They look up to them. They're like, oh man, when I'm an 8th grader, or when I'm a 10th grader, I hope I can be a cheerleader.
Varsity cheering is one of the most intense sports. There's a lot of acrobatics and gymnastics and
competitions.
There's serious injuries in that, and it's a sport.
So, but these little girls, who are usually just cheering to 15 or 20 parents that are at the flag football game, are now cheering to a complete packed grandstands.
Perfect.
And the cheerleading squad, the head of cheerleading on the varsity level, goes and they have universal cheers that they teach to little girls, so they all are cheering the same. It's cute. It builds enthusiasm, and it builds cohesion within the program.
And within the community, Bubba. Now you have the people in the middle schools and the late elementary schools are in the same kind of club as the people in the high school. So that brings the whole community together.
If your girl's
we don't have that in Florida.
If your girl's in 6th grade and she's a cheerleader, she cheers at the she cheers at her Young Tiger game on Saturdays. They play Young Tigers on Saturdays. But and she's cheering in front of 20, 30 people. But if she gets to cheer on Friday night in front of 3,000 people, now her parents are going to the game, to the Friday night game.
It's synergistic.
It's just unbelievable, and it goes clear down to that. I mean,
it's a great idea.
It's unbelievable, and then his conditioning program during the summer is they never go into a weight room. It's all about hill climbing, and they carry picnic tables over their head, and they swim in the lake.
It's like
and,
Rocky Balboa. They're chasing chickens and stuff.
Yeah, and they're running in the sand, and they're doing, it's just, there's this one hill in Winona Lake that's like literally looks like it would belong in San Francisco, and you're running up that hill while carrying your buddy. I mean, it's just like, for
that type of training is really unmatched by just about anything.
It's called Hell Week. And it's unbelievable, and I'm so proud of this guy Bart Curtis, and I hope when he retires here in the next 4 or 5 years
that he gives you the job.
But him and I are the same age. I think he's a year older than me, and so
if they gave you that job, would you shut down and do it at this point?
No. I can't. My family's here. My mom, my sister. I can't. This is where I'm. That'd be like saying, Dan, you couldn't move if somebody offered you the head of surgery for
at Harvard. Yeah, bye.
I'm sorry. My mom and my sister mean more to me than I guess your family does. So
yeah,
I'll
eat lobsters.
Yeah, but they don't mean more.
Postcards.
They don't mean more than Warsaw football, Bubba. Just imagine you're the coach of Warsaw every Friday night.
The next
sniffing the grass.
It's AstroTurf, but the next coach, if you can see it, they're grooming Michael, Bart's son, who's been with him since day one. They're grooming him to be the next guy, and he's gonna just keep his dad's system. They're just gonna take Bart out and put Michael in there. So I'd love to be, if I lived up there and retired up there, I'd love to be like a volunteer or an assistant. I'd love to do that.
I sent you the picture of when you were talking.
You were so good,
like
Bubba.
Natural,
Bubba, you were so good with my kids when you came and helped out. They loved you. You have a way of connecting with people, and certainly with young athletes. It's amazing, Bubba. It's a special gift and talent that I hope you get to explore and exploit as you get older and continue to have that time to do things like that.
I would like to retire in Warsaw or have a place up there. But I got to do that. Listen, I got to do this for 10. I got to do this for 10 more years. I really do. I think we're a little bit late. I was going to get into the Ukraine fires U.S.-made long-range missiles into Russia. Not only do I have the CNN written story, but I also have a video story of it as well.
And Putin changed his policy now. His nuclear energy or his nuclear response policy as a direct result of this.
Yeah, he's saying, okay. I'm glad you're feeling good, but we're going to start blasting them across. He starts firing nukes into Ukraine.
It's over.
And it's over.
Well, he changed the policy. It now says if a nuclear power arms a non-nuclear power that shoots missiles into our country, we reserve the right to respond with nuclear power.
Yeah,
that was changed this morning by Putin.
There you go. We'll break that down next.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
I'm going to ask you a question. Come here. Come here.
Okay.
That's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to let you see it.
Okay.
I'm taking it to my seamstress.
Hey, Lummy. Oh.
Hello, Seth.
Oh, hello, sir.
Good news. Great news. I liked it better when we were talking about Hall of Fame football.
That was fun. Should've walked away. I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. close your eyes and work on a night.
Boss 83, Ray G.
What up, operator? What up, Hoss? What up, Todded? What up, Freddie? Hope you're doing good, man. Tomas. Brian. Fuck yeah, congrats, James. Everybody should have a Wemby.
How you doing, Seth?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Can't complain. That sounded like a string. I'm good, Seth. I'm good.
Me?
It's cracked in the middle of it. Yeah, like a teenager lying.
Yeah, I'm not doing great. Just work shit.
Ukraine just fired long-range missiles into Russia.
Who did?
Ukraine. We can't be happy.
Well, I feel like that's what it is. He knows that we're gonna start talking geopolitical stuff, which irritates him a little bit.
What up, Nick? Paper Towel Willie, you're the man. Tina, what's up? You're the woman.
Well, you should try to do the dance party with Beyonce between.
And yeah, have some fun.
Hey, what's up?
The video dance party with Beyonce.
Yeah. Bo was playing here. Are you out of here?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Just wishful thinking,
Jay,
man.
I got some talk for you, Heather.
Look, Bubba's right there, right?
I did 1.5 miles yesterday with no music, with nothing.
That would blow my brains out.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because
I know.
I can't do anything without a headphone in.
I know. I had my phone playing like in my pocket, but it wasn't the same.
No. I tried to do that the other day for like 3 minutes.
Hey, Lummy, we need to do a standalone on that break.
Yes, sir. I can't.
Bubba explains the turnaround of Warsaw.
Are we going viral?
Well, no, I'm going to send it to the coach.
Yeah, but we got to go viral in Indiana.
What's up, Perma
Yeah, we
Girl?
could go
How you
viral,
doing,
yeah.
buddy? Jamie Flynn?
Okay, let me make that.
You want the video, right?
How's
Video?
everyone doing?
Yeah, with the
back
video.
here? Pepper
Okay.
Jasper, Sicilian Redneck. What up, Snizuki Slaya? How's everybody doing? Hey, Knight Rider, it's Jay, but I don't think there's a cost for the consult. I think the consult's free, buddy.
I did, Danny. I did walking, running. I couldn't
I
run
think
the
you
whole
just give
time.
Danny a call at the Diaco Institute of Plastic Surgery. No money for a consult, right on the hairdo. Right, that's what I thought. Yeah,
I
zero-
did a
zero
mile and a
money for
half.
that.
I think it was like 27 minutes.
Dan, I think I have to go get some man.
What up,
my
tap,
fucking-
tap,
My
tap?
male pattern baldness.
You got really good donors.
I'm gonna get
I
down.
know Dan's got to look at my dome. Maybe Dan, do I got to let my back grow out a little bit?
No,
No,
Oh, it's
not
like
at
your
all.
neck and shit, isn't it?
The exact opposite.
Well, you don't want them shaved to zero.
We
Yes.
shave them to about 2 millimeters, so just leave it the way it is. We'll shave them.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lomi, after we were watching the Content House yesterday, and I was seeing how bald I am in my male pattern baldness, I might have to beg, borrow, or steal maybe go to the Diaco Hair Restoration Willie.
Or we just need some better angles next time.
Yeah.
No top angles.
I need some of that Ron Propel spray on.
Yeah, the spray
You
hair.
know, something. I need something. And Seth is right behind me too.
Oh man, Bubba.
They're like, oh my God, can you get him any more flattering of a shot, which is on top of our heads? Like the camera shot. Listen, I'm not mad at Red or anybody. I mean, you couldn't get any. It's not your fault that I'm going, bald. And it's not your responsibility to position the camera as such. You guys did a perfect job. it just really made me and Seth look.
I don't even know what was the point of me getting a hair transplant, whatever the hell you call it.
Well, it worked.
What do you? I'm bald. What do you mean it worked?
They didn't treat that area. They just treated your front.
No, they treated it. They treated it all. They treated all the special areas.
How many years ago?
6.
When did I leave the bone? 19. Yeah,
So,
5 years.
5 years ago?
Should last longer than that.
It depends on how it was done. Depends on what they were trying to
And
do.
it was 6-year. Hold on,
site.
and it was 6-year technology.
Different.
Its technology hasn't changed that much. It's still the same kind of concept of taking a follicular unit and moving it to a better place. But again, I think the planning has changed more than the actual technique, the philosophy, the goals,
The mapping. Interesting.
So anyway, we started discussing the fact that it's being reported that Ukraine fired U.S.-made longer-range missiles into Russia just a matter of hours ago. Here is Ukraine has fired U.S. What is that? ATACMS missiles. I don't know if that's the acronym for something that I'm supposed to know. Into Russia's was it Bryansk region.
Yep.
Russian's defense ministry has reported in a major escalation on the 1,000. Man, is Zelensky just trying? Like, I mean, does he not know that this is going all bad?
It's Biden. They said that literally on the news. They said
This is the
Biden
1,000th day of war.
sticking his finger in Trump's eye and Putin's eye to try to force them into something that they didn't want to do.
It's an Army tactical missile system, is what those letters are.
The attack comes just 2 days after the Biden administration gave Kyiv the green light to use longer-range U.S. weapons against targets inside of Russia. Kyiv did not immediately respond to the report. The attack would mark the first time that Ukraine has used the longer-range American-made weapons to strike targets deep inside Russia and show that Kyiv has wasted little time in making use of its newly granted powers. At 3:23 local time, 3:23 in the morning local time, which is approximately. I'm sorry. It's 3:23 a.m. Kyiv time, which is 7:25 p.m. our time. Well,
that sounds right.
Tuesday,
time,
but it says Tuesday, and today is Tuesday. So 7:25 p.m. Tuesday has not existed yet. That doesn't happen for another 11 hours, right? Does it not say? Maybe they got that backward. Maybe it's 3:23 our time and 7:25 p.m. their time. That would be the only way that would make sense.
No, it's the other way around. It's 3 p.m. their time and 7:23 a.m. our time.
So they have the AMs and the PMs messed up?
Probably.
Well, yeah, it says the Eastern time. Yeah.
Yeah, but it says PM. And 7:25 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday hasn't
tonight.
It hasn't existed
It's like
yet.
The Simpsons predicting the future.
What I'm saying is what
It happened last night, Bubba. You're right.
Right.
Where did I don't know what exactly they were signing. I'm sure they weren't long-range missiles, but what did people think was going to happen when Shapiro and everybody was autographing those bombs that when Kamala was running for president? I mean,
bad.
You knew that they were going to get used on Russia. Like that was what the whole point was.
Well, the thing is, there's a word missing in that whole thing, and that is the Biden administration unilaterally decided to do this. This is a huge escalation in the terms of what we've agreed to as a NATO nation. He just violated all NATO principles. He unilaterally did it. We were fighting over whether we should give them our airplanes, and the answer was no. We're not supposed to give them our airplanes to go into Russia and start shooting Russian targets. And so,
and wasn't it within a day of us giving them a few airplanes? They'd already gotten them shot down by Russia had already shot them down because the Ukrainian pilots weren't, American pilots that had been trained extensively on these airplanes.
Yes, and none of this has been with congressional approval. The war powers are supposed to be with congressional approval. So we're just giving money over there, and now all of a sudden the president decides unilaterally 90 days before he leaves that, hey, we're going to escalate it like this. And just like we said yesterday, this is the beginning of a nuclear war. And then 24 hours later, Putin gives this new Putin doctrine.
Ukraine
It's a huge deal.
fired 6 ballistic missiles at a facility in the Bryansk, the ministry reported. I don't know what this area is, how close it is to Moscow, or was it a military establishment? It said that the American-made ATACMS missiles had been used in the attack. Russian air defenses shot down 5. We sent 6,
right,
and they shot down 5 of them, and the other one was damaged. Fragments from the damaged missile fell on the territory of the military facility, causing a fire that has since been extinguished. There were no casualties or no damage. Well, that really sucks. And the fact that we went and flexed we went out there and flexed our muscles that were all that, and none of them did anything. I mean, kind of thank God that none of them did anything.
Maybe we gave him some sucker U.S. missiles, though. Maybe Putin will be like, hey, Putin, we gave him the dummy ones, like let's still talk with you.
Farm League squad.
Yeah, we gave you the ones that didn't test so well, the ones that were 75% off in the stores.
Just for a little bit of context. Bryansk, the area they shot the missiles into, is the very, 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 very western edge of Russia.
And I think it's really close to some of the area they want to take over.
It's also close to the areas that they've been staging attacks into Ukraine. And it's right next to Belarus. So it's actually a strategic area. It's not like they're lobbing them into, Moscow.
Here is an actual video of the report.
They carried out their first strike using these Western-made longer-range missiles, ATACMS, they call them, Army Tactical Missile Systems, on an ammunition site in a border area.
So we sent them. We basically were trying to blow up one of their ammunition sites so they didn't have as many bullets to shoot us. Is what they, that's right. I mean, that's
when they bomb munition depots. That's a good target. You bomb where they make the bombs.
And a lot of times that causes their bombs to go off, wreaking all types of
secondary explosions.
So it seems to be about 20 miles from the border with Ukraine. And these are areas where Ukrainian troops have been already fighting.
Now this missile and the truck and the tank or whatever it takes to transport it is all U.S. made, correct? This is a U.S. made.
That particular one could have been a British-made one because Britain had already been supplying them to them.
Russian forces on the ground. So it is a conflict area near the border. And it's in line with what we heard about the decision by the U.S. to allow these kinds of strikes, to limit them to these border areas, at least for now, in a way that probably won't have a...
By the way, this is Bloomberg Radio is really the first to have a little bit of footage of this.
Big impact on the broader...
And I don't think they actually have footage. They're using just file footage of these missiles.
He's a pretty woman.
Can I ask? I know that they're very handsome. I know that we're supposed to just stay out of the world's affairs and it's America first. But we are in this Ukraine thing now with North Korea sending a bunch of who knows what Iranian-made missiles, troops, with them supplying Russia. Like, do we just try to back out of it even more, or because it seems like it's getting worse for Ukraine? That's why, obviously, Sleepy Joe signed off on this, right? What's the move here?
I think
Ukraine is like the Alamo.
I think the move is this: let everything just remain and chill out. Nobody, just listen. We got 60 days to chill out. Chill out until we get new leadership that can meet with the new leadership that we have actually has a relationship with Putin where you might be able to actually come to some type of resolve. Half of getting this resolve is somebody talking to Putin that has a relation that Putin respects, that Putin has a relationship with.
They're trying to
I don't know that Biden has ever met Putin.
He has in 2022.
Okay,
but he's weak with Biden or with Putin. He doesn't know how to speak to him.
He's out there. The military-industrial complex did not want Trump to get in because it hurts them. And if they could push this through for the next 90 days and create a complete chaos and start wars before Trump gets in and kind of kills this whole thing
of the conflict, but interesting.
They win.
And then that's Seth. The thing is, you would hope it wouldn't be political, but they're overtly reporting on CNN that President Biden did this to make the negotiations with Putin and Trump more difficult.
Yep.
That this was a political ploy. And I mean, can you imagine that they're going to shoot over
the first thing Donald
the possibility
does.
of
Like,
nuclear
let me tell you something,
war?
Putin. That was the clown before me that did all that stuff. You know, I would never have done that. This is all a bunch of bullcrap. Let's just start with a clean slate. Let's start negotiation now.
But there's no strategic reason why you would do it on behalf of the United States with an outgoing president, which was why would you
and
do
not
it?
only an outgoing,
It doesn't
but
give us any better standing.
a lame duck president that, you know.
You don't think he told Trump when they met up a week or so ago
No.
about what was happening?
No.
They knew,
he said,
though.
"Do you smell that? I think I pooped my pants."
I think that he maybe, whatever he met with Trump, I'm sure he didn't say, well, I just wanted, Trump, I think I'm gonna maybe authorize Ukraine to start blowing some of our longer range stuff into Russia.
I'm
Donald.
not kidding. It's no hyperbole.
And I think
Being serious.
I think Trump would have said, listen, Sleepy Joe, let's not do that, anything drastic until I get in charge. You don't have a relationship with Putin. He thinks that you're an idiot like most of the country. And so just let me handle it. Please don't do anything rational. Try to just keep everybody happy for the next however many days, Sleepy Joe. That's what you need to do.
I'm just disappointed that we don't get the
guarantee-
chance to see Kamala's reaction to this.
So quickly after the decision was taken. So we've had this report.
I think there needs to be I think there needs a new podcast for the next 60 or so days called Ask Kamala. And you have her there, and you basically bring all these issues to her. Be like, Kamala, had you won the presidency, what would you be doing right now based on what just happened?
Yeah, backseat driving with Kamala.
Well, I just want to let you know that I came from a place that liked to do their lawns and then middle class. And
says the very first strike.
Now, she'd never met Putin, right?
No,
I don't think so.
Did happen on this ammunition dump just over the border.
Of course, Ross, this is coming after we've had another development in this area this morning with Russia.
Do you remember her description of this war?
So hold on.
Russia's a big country and Ukraine's a little one. And Russia decided to go in and take part of Ukraine. And that's a bad thing.
So the guy now, the male interviewer, I think Jay kind of starts breaking down what Putin may have said this morning.
Shifting its policy on its nuclear doctrine. This looks like a series of, can we describe this as a series of escalations in this conflict?
Well, certainly all of it does raise the temperature. This nuclear doctrine change was flagged in September. That was when there was an announcement that it was being drawn up. And what it does is it sort of changes the parameters for Russia in theory, where it says a large-scale conventional strike on Russia could be something.
And showing pictures of Kim Jong-un, like honestly, what does he really have? He's
expendable people that don't matter.
No, that's true.
And that's the whole point. They need meat.
So he doesn't have really anything technologically we have to worry
he
about?
does. He's got all kinds of stuff.
He got drones.
He's got some stuff.
More
importantly, he's got people that you can say, run as fast as you can to that area with your guns. Doesn't matter how many of you guys get picked off, but just he has expendable human lives that can be boots on the ground, right, Dan? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I think. Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be a major ally of theirs that they're going to need. When they start testing more and more of their nuclear stuff, and we have a problem with it.
And if you're a North Korean dude, you're like, hey, do you want to stay here where you can't even at 7:00 say turn off the lights and TVs and everything, or do you want to go over to Russia, sit in a tent and have that's more, sitting in a tent and fighting for Russia is more freedom than you have at home, right?
Well, yeah, you probably get dewormed in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you probably, get out a little bit, be able to run around, you can't do any of that at home.
That is deemed warranting a nuclear response or a strike by a non-nuclear state, i.e. Ukraine, backed by a nuclear state, i.e. the US, does warrant a response.
Now, does Putin today lob over a couple that'll learn yous that, now his stuff probably is far more technologically advanced than whatever we've given Ukraine to defend itself with, and a couple of his will hit.
That's one of the things.
Is that what he does today?
That's one of the things about this war that's kind of perplexed me. Is I thought that Russia's military-industrial complex was more sophisticated than it seems to have been during this war, because I would have thought that exactly. that you lob 6 into ours that don't touch anything, we're going to lob 12 into yours that hits precise targets like we used to do. I don't know what they're going to do. I think he's going to be more reserved, put out this new doctrine, and say, do it one more time, and there's going to be serious consequences.
Do you think that he could get on the phone with Trump and say, listen, whatever influence you do or don't have during this lame duck period where you're not in charge, you need to get a hold of those that sleepy Joe and tell them to back the down immediately.
Zelensky and Putin, Trump should be talking to both of them.
Yeah, and the problem is, Bubba, that if he tries to, they're going to vilify him for trying to, and they're going to say he's, a Putin puppet and a stooge to Putin and Russia, and going to be helping them and aiding and abetting the enemy, which we are not at war with Russia, by the way. Ukraine is. We're not at war with them.
Well, but I know we're not.
But we're going to end up being at war with them and North Korea and every other a-hole that's helping them, because we have people there. We are supplying them with weapons. We're supplying them with tactics, ammunition, missiles, tanks, airplanes, and soldiers. We're in this freaking war.
Yeah, I mean, we're not there physically.
No, we are there physically.
But I mean, as far as,
Yeah, it's just not 20,000 of us. We're there.
Hold on here. Let me continue here.
By a nuclear state. On Russia, so it is that update to the doctrine that was talked about some months ago. The news today, and the timing is interesting, is that Vladimir Putin has signed it and approved it, and that's been announced publicly, and that does seem to be a timing response to this US decision to allow Ukraine to do longer-range missile strikes inside Russia. So it's all bound up in the same news announcement in a way, and we can see why that's unnerving markets a bit. As a result, is this idea that Russia does view this as an escalation and is now sort of putting that nuclear card on the table. But again, this was a doctrine change that was first talked about some months ago.
See how they try to downplay it? It was talked about months ago, meaning don't do this, and then he signed it today. So when was it enacted? Today, the day after they said it's okay for you to lob bombs into our country, and that they did it. They downplayed like, oh, he was going to do this in September. No, he wasn't. He said, don't lob bombs into our motherland, our country, and we won't change the doctrine.
But hold on, guess what? We just did.
I know it.
So,
remember what we were children, Bubba. What was the biggest fear?
Russia.
War with Russia.
Cold War.
The Cold War. And the whole idea was we were going to get into some nuclear conflict with them. This is no hyperbole.
They made movies like Red Dawn and things like that. Russia was the bad guy, and until Rappin' Ronnie Reagan told Gorbachev to knock down that wall, it was and freed East Germany. West Germany, whichever which one.
This is the single biggest escalation that we've experienced, Bubba, you, me, Danny, in our lifetime with Russia.
Especially since Putin told him, don't be doing this stuff.
September, thank you, AP.
Don't be doing this stuff.
Let me ask you guys a question, because I don't think that anybody's firing off a nuke at all. I don't think anybody's that stupid. But if you feel like Putin does do that, then what happens next?
I feel like
because the world has an issue with that, really, no matter whose side you're on.
And are there certain levels of nuke? Can you throw a little baby nuke over there? Or
yeah, there's small tactical nukes. Yes, there is a baby nuke versus a giant nuke.
So do you throw in a little baby nuke and kill a couple hundred?
I think you throw in any size nuke, it becomes a nuke. That's all they talk about is the fact it's nuclear.
I think they don't do anything right now, Seth, because the ramifications of even a tiny nuke, any nuke is a direct and heavy response. And that's why everyone's so afraid of this is...
the reason why everybody's so afraid of this is instantaneously puts Putin as the victim. And because he warned you, don't do it, and you've not done it, and he's not escalated the war much... Meaning, like he's not been.
No, he could have carpet bombed the entire country and flattened Kyiv. He did not do that.
He's been
restrained.
He's been fighting this war, by war fighting rules.
Well, I thought that's because they were supposed to wipe out Ukraine within like a month. I thought Ukraine put up a way better fight than they ever imagined.
He could.
He could occupy it.
He's abiding by the Geneva or Warsaw Convention, whatever act of war, they have these convention, these various rules. He's playing by the rules.
Are you sure? Because I thought we did a story one day where like the World's Court had said if Putin shows up somewhere, that he gets arrested.
He did some stuff like cluster bombs. He's done some stuff that aren't really completely kosher. But we did too in Afghanistan. I'm sorry, in Iraq in the first war, we had depleted uranium warheads, which made that entire trail of sorrow go up in smoke. So we're not perfectly innocent from when it comes to small violations of the Geneva Convention and other war conventions that define the rules of warfare. A nuclear weapon changes everything.
But
he'd be better off by carpet bombing the country because we can't do anything at that point. We backed, we provided what he said don't do. Mm-hmm.
He said, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it. And so we're poking him in the chest right now.
I agree.
And at that point, the only reason we're doing that is because we're trying to make it difficult regardless of if you're a Trump person or not. You have to, appreciate that there's a new person coming in that's our president. Just like people that were Trump fans, at the end of the day, once the election was over, you had to appreciate we had a new regime coming in and they were in charge. Donald Trump is not the most liked guy and may not be your guy, but you have to appreciate the fact that he's the new guy coming in, and you can't make it. I mean, listen, Trump obviously had a lot to do with, but provoked somewhat J6. That wasn't ideal. I don't know necessarily how illegal it was, but it wasn't ideal. He probably wishes he wouldn't have done that now, looking back at it. But maybe this is their J6. This is their legal J6. This is the legal way Joe and the Democrats can make it really, really difficult for Donald in his first 100 days.
Well, they can take one more step, Bubba.
If he's dealing with this nonsense, and maybe they throw in an Israel-Palestinian kicker, now President Trump has two crap storms on his hands. The day he puts his hand on that Bible, he now has two dumpster fires to put out, rather than just right now they're not dumpster fires. Right now they're little flare-ups that he.
Are we feeling sorry for Trump? I thought he's up for the job fix these things.
I feel
That's
sorry.
What he ran
I feel
on.
sorry for anybody that's taken over, because it seems like the current administration's trying to create havoc. And it could very well be
this war's been going on for 3 years.
But it's
exactly.
It could be Why? It could be bad for us moving forward.
See,
if we don't shape up real fast.
You're right. And here's the thing: I'm reading chat, and it just irritates the crap out of me because can't you be anti-war without being pro-Russia?
Can't you be anti-war without being pro-Trump?
I mean, I just don't want people to continue to die in wars that we have nothing to do with over fuel in Europe.
Listen, here's the deal.
It's not about democracy.
Take your political affiliation and throw it right out the window. It's not healthy for our country to be in a proxy war with Russia.
With anybody.
It's not healthy for us to be in a war with anybody. Except like Lummy brought up a few minutes ago, there's only one subsect of people that this helps, and that's the military industry complex. The very same thing that Dwight D. Eisenhower, upon his leaving office speech, warned what would be the demise of our country is the military industry complex. When we get into wars to help the people that the people that build war stuff, that are heavy donors to both parties. That's the only thing that war helps. We have since Clinton. God bless his little soul. We had a balanced budget and no wars. What's so bad about that?
When
Why can't we do that?
We had this interventional idea that Reagan thought we're going to go around, we're going to infiltrate all these countries, and we're going to democratize them. And we haven't done that in quite some time, and we shouldn't be doing that because all that did was made other countries irritated at us for going in and trying to change their policies and their cultures. And so what Trump wants to do is everyone has your own culture and everyone should be for your country first, but we all have to get along together. So there could be a Russia first policy and America first policy where we all still get along. It's where people don't understand that everyone's leader should have their country's interests at heart, their best interests. And so we should be able to negotiate from a position where strength, peace through strength.
But here's the other thing.
Don't mess with us because we can.
But here's the other thing. Ukraine has no chance to win this war if we don't help them.
They're not have a chance to win it with our help.
They're not a part of NATO. They decided, they took a shiz on that when there was an opportunity for them to be part of NATO. They said hell to the no. And so now they have our help. They have our backing. They got our airplanes, and Russia knows it. And the head of Russia, Putin, says, okay, I know you got America in your back pocket. Don't be sending any of that nonsense over here. And what do? We send the nonsense over there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Putin doesn't lay a couple little carpet bombing willies for good measure right now.
I wouldn't be surprised either, Bubba. And I'm with you, Seth. I can't believe that this is taking so long, and I can't believe it's taking over a year for Israel to flatten Palestine. And that area, it doesn't make any sense that an area the size of St. Pete takes over a year to control. Doesn't make sense. I understand Ukraine's a massive country. Kamala had it wrong. Ukraine's not a little country. Ukraine's one of the biggest countries in Europe besides the Soviet Union. And it is massive besides Russia. It's a massive country. And it's not an easy country to traverse because of the snow in the winter, the mud in the spring and the fall. And it's, again, a huge country. It's hard to occupy that big of a country. That's, I think, one of the reasons it's taking so long. They're not interested in conquering Ukraine. They want that 20% of the land, so they have that land bridge to Crimea and the Black Sea. That's
Hello.
all they give a crap about.
Hi, who's this? You're on the air quickly.
Hey, good morning, Bubba. Hey, I'll just self-edit out, man. Just wanted to say it's good to hear everybody in the studio again. Good to hear the conversation going on. Kind of pathetic to know that as an American, you've got a current sitting president who's trying to sabotage the oncoming president. It's just a disgusting world we live in. I'm not real sure what else to tell you guys, Bubba. Just good conversation this morning. Love hearing the Diacos in the studio, and thanks again for putting on great content, Bubba.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, bud. Thanks. Phone calls, 813-90-BUBBA. Hello.
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestler 91. Hey, tell Lummy to look up on YouTube Trump's huge World War III speech as Putin okayed U.S. missile
Trump's
act.
Hold on. Trump's World War III speech with Putin kicker?
Trump's huge World War III speech. And it's the content people are something.
All right, buddy.
You guys think it's real or not, or what? Last time you called, I think you recommended a fake vid.
Hello. Lummy's looking it up.
Hey,
Hello.
Bubba, it's Max in Florida.
Hi, Max. Florida. How you
Bubba,
doing?
It's Max. Hey, I'm great, man. I sit here and think back that I cannot believe you guys are discussing, or at least even attempting to discuss, the idea that Putin is a victim here.
I'm not.
Right?
I said the worst thing is for him to be able to position himself as a victim. I didn't say he was.
Yeah.
I said the worst thing is for him to be able to position himself as a victim, and that's what he's doing right now, because he said, don't send him over here, and now we send him over there. Now he can position himself as a victim. I didn't say he was one. I can say Putin will try to make himself one.
Certainly he will try, because
So please understand, you misunderstood what I said. I did not say that he was a victim. I would say that son of a bitch is going to try to position himself as a victim, which warrants him to do what he wants to do. That's what I said.
But the only people he has to convince of that are the Russians, right? We've found out that the Russia of the 70s was far worse than the Russia of today, and it's because of the influence we put in.
Listen.
Our ideals
the only people
are worth spreading, rather than this globalist crap we keep getting.
The only people that Putin needs to convince is his people. That's the only people he needs to convince. And when he can convince his people that he's being bombed by U.S. missiles and he told them not to, his people rally behind him and give him more power to take more territory, to use more force. That's what I'm saying.
This is old stuff, right? These aren't even current production things. They're not even nuclear capable. They're not Tomahawks. This is junk. This is stuff we've sold off.
Junk that he said he's junk that we don't need to be firing off into his country when we're being led by some. What's that?
We aren't firing.
Okay.
If you give your gun to a chick and she shoots somebody with it, your ass is just as much trouble as she is.
That's totally a different thing.
No, it's not.
That's not how Russia looks at it. It's all about perception.
All right,
Russia
hold on. How about
perceives.
even better? What if I have a kid and the kid says, I'm going to use this weapon to shoot over there, and then I give my kid the weapon? That's my
So
responsibility.
hold on, sir. Before I argue with you, whoa, hold on. Before we argue with you, because we obviously don't agree, give us your spin on things. We'll shut up. We'll shut up and let you go ahead and break it down for us.
My spin, and I'm prior service, and I'm no fan of the Biden regime, right? Okay. But I'm certainly not a fan of Putin, right? Is that the military-industrial complex does sell old hardware to third world countries. We have F-16s and old F-4 stuff and other gear that have passed out of modernization that have gone on to other countries.
Sure.
Right? The reality is that we have gotten rid of that stuff, right? It's not useful for us. It's not modernized. And what we found out from Putin's attack on Ukraine is he is not near as modernized as we have given him credit for in the past. Right?
Okay.
We're finding out he's nowhere near the superpower that we thought he was.
Which is what I said earlier.
Okay. But here's
he dropped into Ukraine on false pretense without the need to do it, and I think it was worth our effort to try to keep him in check. Otherwise, he wants to be a globalist and reinstate the Russia of old, and that's more dangerous.
And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. But can't we burn a time out until we can get somebody in there that has supposedly a better relationship with him than this guy that can possibly talk him into some type of treaty so that we can stop this nonsense? That's only a question.
We're arm's distance from it. We're arm's length away, right?
But we don't have.
But that's not going to do anything.
We don't.
How are we arm's distance from them?
Another damn dime.
How are we arm's distance if Zelensky could do nothing without our arms? Exactly.
Well, in the sense that we're not. No. We're not the ones committing the conflict.
By the way, I agree with everything you said earlier.
I
agree 100% with what you said.
Are we providing money? Yes.
But that doesn't mean that we should fund a proxy war, because if you are military, which I thank you for your service, and I appreciate this dialogue, we should be able to have these kind of dialogues without name calling, and I appreciate you not calling any of us names.
And that's why I stopped. Hold on, but that's why I stopped it, sir, and said instead of listen to our nonsense, let you break it down. So we're letting you break it down,
and we agree with you. Everyone here,
and most of us agree with you. But here's where we probably differ in the fact that, everything has not. He warned us not to do this. We did it, which I feel is kind of a poke in the chest. And I feel as if we could, if we didn't do this and we waited a little bit longer, we could give the next guy, whether you like the next guy or not, an opportunity to potentially end this a lot more peacefully than lobbing over, old ass 1974 missiles that, 5 of the 6 got shot down and the 6th, got damaged where it created no problems. So since none of what we sent over worked, why would we?
That's not true. We've sent new stuff, Bubba.
But here's the deal. You being former military, answer me this question, okay? And it's just a question. Why send something over that doesn't work at all? You send six old-time warheads over, 5 get shot down, the 6th doesn't work. Why even send any at that point? That's just a question because you're a military guy.
And I'm going to give you my jaded answer, right? Because it's been a lot of years since I'm military, right? But it's stuff we're not going to use. It's not necessary or needed in the type of conflict we would expect to get into. It's probably more expensive to keep, frankly, than it is to let it be someone else's problem. These are solid fuels systems that just we don't use them.
And at that point, that's on Zelensky. That's on Zelensky.
It is.
It's not on us. It's on Zelensky.
But we're not also trying to strike. We're not.
And it continues to, and it leaves us with a retainment of a tactical edge, in the sense that I'm not going to hand you, just like the most current, most production airplane we have, right, the F-35, we're not handing our version of it to anybody else. Like, we retain tactical advantage of that technology. So the ATACS system, if it goes into a smaller country or somewhere else and gets used, then that's frankly not our problem.
I know, but we've made it our problem when the only way they can get these are through us, and we've authorized them the ability to shoot them into Russia when the leader of Russia says, don't shoot those nonsense, don't send that nonsense over.
Joe Biden told you don't do it too, right? I mean, our parents have told us, don't you do it, and we still did, right? This is the blustering play that they have all played.
So what do you think the resolution is?
Yeah.
You've got all, I mean, because basically a lot of what you said we agree with. Well, how do you resolve it? And do you think that allowing this, whether it's their Betamax missiles or not, don't you think it's provocative to allow our missiles to be used by Ukraine to go into Russia's motherland? And I mean, just because that's the way they consider it, don't you think that's provocative?
So how would you, if I was to say, sir, because I got to let you go, and I'm not trying to be rude because I'm running behind, but I would say, sir, I'm going to let you end the conversation by saying, if you were the president or you had the ability to give us some type of tactic or technique to end this war, to end this situation between Ukraine and Russia, how do you think, former military, knowing a little bit about the deal, how would you do it? We're gonna end the conversation with you having total say so. Go ahead.
Then my answer is America first. Quit sending the money. Keep the money at home. Focus on our needs. Period.
Then what happens over there?
Itself.
And what happens over there when Putin takes over all their entire country?
It will resolve itself.
Does that mean? Does that also mean not giving them the ability to have any of our old weapons?
I don't care if they have some of the old stuff. We're not going to. We're
giving them new stuff
too. We are not going to signal to our ally. We're not going to signal, to our enemy as to our capability.
Oh yeah, I know the M1 Abrams tanks, which is the most advanced system in the world. Ukraine has those. So they have the most advanced tank, but we don't give them anything.
So, sir,
the shoulder air, what are those? The Starstreak missiles?
You guys were talking about the missiles, and if you look up the missile system, it is old.
So how about this?
It still works, though. It still blows people up, just like an old AR-15 or an old AK.
Hold on. How about this? We take what you say, and we add a caveat to that, and say, we don't send anything that's modern over there. Anything that they want to buy that's old, buy away, fight your own war. We're getting out, but we're not going to give you anything that is modern technology or anything like that. If you want to buy old stuff, or maybe we even give you some old stuff, but not the M1 tanks, not the the F-35s. You can have some old 1975 missiles and stuff like that, and you're on your own. We get out completely. We don't finance it anymore. If they want to buy,
I'm down for that.
So we have Dateline Kiev, Ukrainian soldiers armed with slingshots get mowed over by ICBM from Russia. It doesn't make sense, dude. If you're going to give them bullets that work. If you're going to give them missiles that work. These missiles obviously do work. They're not trying to bomb 4,000 miles away. They're trying to bomb 100 miles away. And so we don't need the most sophisticated things. We're not trying to go in covert with stealth, radar evading technology. They're just trying to lob old school conventional bullets and missiles at each other and let them do that. But either we need to commit or get the F out. And the problem is you can't win without beating Russia, because Russia's got an unlimited supply of stuff.
I think this guy says, let's get the F out. I think this guy says.
There's a lot of Americans that agree with that.
Money at home.
And I agree. And you know what, sir? I agree with you. Mm-hmm. I agree with that more than anything else. Let's get the F out.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
I think it was. Yep. Take care.
All right, man. Thank you. I mean, see, look. I mean, the guy didn't necessarily agree, but we came to a
Oh, it's called conversations, Bubba, and people need to have conversations again. People think that they can talk like they text. When you have some guy on your Instagram says something negative about your girlfriend's breasts, and then you can like light him up without any kind of retaliation. That's what all people do is they light people up without a conversation.
That's you, Dan, not us.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
Oh my God, man.
What, buddy?
Fuck.
At my lowest, I was barely eating and over-exercising while still gaining weight. That's when I turned to hers. The online health quiz made it easy to find out that semaglutide was right for me, and I got approved for the medication by a provider in less than 24 hours.
Man, Charlie Belcher's either at a bakery or a fucking dog bakery.
Some of his places are pretty fucking lame.
Get weight loss results you can
Yeah.
see and feel. Start today at forhers.com.
I think I've been to that one.
P. Diddy's freak off.
Oh, yeah.
You saw celebrities there that you recognized.
Be expensive as fuck. All right, let's see what's on the NBA slate tonight. I think we got a good one. I looked yesterday. Oh yeah, we do Thunder Spurs 9:30. That's a little late. Guess if I had to pick something at 8, I'd probably say Nuggets and Grizzlies. No John Morant. Cavaliers versus Celtics at 7. Cavs undefeated. That's really wild. Bulls legend Bob Love dies after battle with cancer at 81. Why are people so mad about Micah and Joe Scarborough?
Because they ended up at Mar-a-Lago after they called him a Nazi and Hitler and Mussolini for 3 years. They realized their ratings were bad and they went down to Mar-a-Lago over the weekend.
Like for a vacay or to like
No, to
meet
kiss
them?
the ring. They went to go and listen, you'll like this. Trump said, you can screw me once or twice or 3 times and I'll forgive you, but 4 times no. So he basically buried the hatchet and he said, we need to have a new way forward. And so Mika and Joe came out and said that they realized that the way they had approached it last time wasn't going to work. And so instead of talking about the president, they should talk with him. So that's the summary of it. And it's clear pandering.
I just enjoyed reading some people that are really, really like upset that they can't watch them anymore now.
Did they get canceled?
No, I guess people are breaking up with them.
They had like the worst ratings too. I wish I knew the numbers because you would laugh at it. Morning Joe.
Oh yeah, they said there were like 700 people at some place.
700 grand, right? 700,000 people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nationwide. What's up, Group of Lips? Big Lunger. Rudy from Florida. What's up, everybody? What they're going to do, I'm going to predict, is they're going to...
I mean, did I get fish on the J earlier? I think I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
they're going to try to bury Tulsi by trying to make her a quote-unquote Russian stooge, and Tulsi is anything but that. He should have, Johnny Z. I ducked. God, that's so funny. Thomas Gilson.
I'm taking the cream machine over to Terry's.
Another spin instructor. Are you?
Yeah. I was gonna say, go through it, T, and just fucking.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Also, go to Bubba Army Merch, Bubba Army Shop, or Bubba Army Store. Merch Crick has found a few little sleeper cells of some leftover stuff. Some 20-ounce Arctic, personally, Bubba Army / Bubba the Love Sponge autographed Arctic coolers, tumblers, I should say, and a very select amount of Bubba Army Fat Man Dunks 2, the red and black Bubba Dunkin' a Donut tennis shoes. I think she's got like 6 to 7 pairs of those, but it all starts with going to our merchandise shop, Bubba Army Shop, Bubba Army Merch, BubbaArmyStore.com. She's up there now filling stuff up for you. Here's the latest. Supposedly, P. Diddy and Jay, just legally, I don't think they've still laid out their case necessarily. I saw that the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of New York had a press conference. I think it might have been Friday of last week. I was trying to watch it live on YouTube, and they were really getting into some of the formatics and stuff, but they're really withholding a lot because I think as they unpack this, it's way bigger and way more salacious than they thought it was.
Yep.
And they really have not, other than P. Diddy, I don't think they've indicted anybody else. Or, I don't think anybody else has been called out or in trouble.
I think they're getting everyone to flip, is what I think.
So do they go to a famous person and, how does that flip go? Put yourself as a prosecutor.
Keith Davidson or somebody.
Put yourself as a prosecutor.
Okay.
And, you got Leonardo DiCaprio.
How about okay. So, a theoretical, a Leo, let's say, hey, Leo, I've got this video. It shows you with P. Diddy at a freak off, and it looks like that girl may be a minor. Were you aware that she was a minor?
No, I was not. I was told that she was of age.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, she's a minor. So we're going to look into that, or maybe you could help us with what else was going on at the freak party.
Oh, well, I'll tell you whatever we need to hear.
Okay, how many other people were there? How many nights were you there? What other stars were there? Did you ever see any other young people? Did you ever see any drugs?
Now, would his J. Diaco step in and say, whoa, hold on. Before my client just starts yapping his mouth, we need to cut a deal here.
For sure.
I mean, you're telling him.
As soon as that happened, I said, whoa. Let's look at the video. And then I say, okay, based on what's on the video,
hold on.
let's
So
talk.
now play the other side of the fence. You were the prosecutor a minute ago. Now put on your natural J. Diaco hat and be a defense guy. And so they just laid that out to Leonardo. Now you step in and say what?
I would say that video doesn't show anything. That shows Mr. Leo sitting in a corner of a party where people are having consensual sex. And I don't know what exactly you plan on charging us with. Show me exactly what your charging documents are. Show me what you think you can prove beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt, instead of these threats, these veilless threats that aren't going to do anything to me or my client. Tell me what you got.
Well, we got Leonardo DiCaprio participating in an intercourse with a 17-year-old. I have an affidavit from her that this is her, and she was there, and she had intercourse with Mr.
Let's talk.
And so let's make a deal. Let's make a deal.
What's behind door number 3?
All right, so you got my attention. Now let's start talking, right?
Yeah, it depends on what they have.
Depends
you
on what
for.
they got.
It depends 100% on what they got.
The minute they
so-
say I got a sworn affidavit from a 17-year-old that puts her in this place with cell phone records of her being groomed and set up by P. Diddy's people,
right?
And then the fact that she was promised to be with Leonardo DiCaprio that night, blah, blah, blah. Now we go to, okay, what you got for us?
So then the response from the prosecution, if I say what I say, is going to be, that's fine. We'll just charge you. Doesn't matter if we win or not. Your career's over.
Yeah, you're done.
You're going to be charged with sex trafficking, and you're going to be charged with sex with a minor and
good luck
statutory
on getting
rape.
And good luck on getting your next movie role.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Well, Diddy is fuming over something that went down in MDC Brooklyn, where he's being held without bail.
And so, J-Man, they are loaded for him.
Mm-hmm.
They raided his cell.
Until his trial begins. And
this supposedly went down last month.
Right. And what he's upset about is at some point when he was out of his cell, the feds conducted a raid. Now, it is a federal detention center.
Well, I think that he was probably at breakfast or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
you come back and your cell is just completely upended, and they found. Hold on.
And so, raiding cells sounds like something that they would do on some regular basis, but they're being called out over this because of the documents that were in his cell that they obviously had access to during this raid.
And so what Diddy's lawyer is saying is
that was work product / privileged.
They seized, among other things, his legal strategy, that he had notes about his legal strategy in this case, and that is privileged information. And according to his lawyer, the lawyer believes that the prison officials gave all of that to prosecutors, which...
Now, Jay, would that be a problem if you're having correspondence with your attorney, whether it's over the phone and you're taking notes and you're strategizing?
So this sounds awfully familiar to something else we're dealing with right now, because you can't usually get into a lawyer's thoughts and strategies unless you get into someone who's supposedly a criminal.
Somebody who's hand-delivered it to you.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Would be unbelievable if that actually happened. So that is the allegation that Diddy's lawyer is making. The feds have just answered what they say actually went down.
All right, cool. So Diddy said you took privileged attorney-client privileged notes, and here's what the Fed said they really got.
I got to tell you, there's some of this that doesn't make sense.
But they say this was not a raid targeting Diddy, and that this was a pre-planned sweep. In fact, they say it was planned before Diddy even got into that, because he got there in September.
Now, we should say that the feds are saying, that the prison is saying, yeah, I mean, he got in, he came to us in September, long before we planned this raid for the safety of the inmates and the staff.
Now, Jay, if the lockup facility was able to show, hey, here's our dates that we had laid out, you know, in April, that we were going to do sweep raids on cells, that pretty much validates their opinion, right? I mean,
Yes.
that really helps them say, hey, listen, he wasn't even an inmate when in April we determined we were going to have these 5 days as sweeps.
And the question is not whether they seized this information, it's whether or not they shared the information with the prosecution,
Right.
because they're allowed to seize whatever they find in that cell, and then they have what's called a taint officer that goes through and decides whether anything is relevant and whether anything is actually discoverable. And so if in fact they found work product and strategy and thought process, they should maintain that privilege, and you don't give it to the prosecution. That's what happens.
One question is this: if they're concerned about the safety and the staff, and say this is back in June, why are they waiting 5 months to conduct the raid? So that part, honestly, to me, doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
I don't understand how they. I'm not going to pretend I know how the administration of MDC Brooklyn goes down. So
they can go in whenever they want.
Correct.
They don't need a search warrant.
They can.
Right. They wait 5 months.
And Harvey Levin's an attorney. So They can, I think one of the things when you're in prison or you're being incarcerated, that you waive your right to, like, they can come in at 1 a.m, say, everybody out of bed. We're flipping over your mattresses. We're looking through all your contraband. This is a cell sweep. And you don't have any rights to stop that. That's part of being incarcerated, right?
Yep.
And they're worried about safety. So that part's not working. But there's something more fundamental, Derek.
Yeah, what they're saying in this document is also that they believe that Diddy, and relates to the bail hearing, is trying to intimidate witnesses and maybe obstruct justice in some ways. And they say he's been using the monitored telephone lines in the prison as well as the text messages system in the prison. And they are referencing this about the bail hearing, but they're doing it in this motion about this sweep. And when they went into his cell, they said they looked at a bunch of stuff. They said on his bunk was a manila folder titled legal. It had the word legal on it. They say they felt it for contraband, but then put it to the side because they said this must be a legal document. This is probably privileged. We're not even going to look at it further.
All right. That's good.
But then they saw an address book and a notebook. And what they did was they took pictures of that address book and notebook, and they turned those pictures of those items over to a filter team, which is looking to see whether items are privileged.
The filter team.
Yep.
And the filter team went through it. They say they redacted the stuff, and then what was redacted, the redacted materials, were then turned over to prosecutors.
So here's
they did turn over documents to prosecutors.
They turned over photographs from the notebook, which they said contained information about music and whatnot.
Photographs.
Here's the thing about it. If they say this is a general raid that was not targeting Diddy, that was planned long before Diddy came in.
Did they do it to anybody else?
Why in the document the feds just filed, why did they start by talking about these suspicious third-party communications that Diddy specifically is having, almost using that to justify what they did in his cell? They're saying...
hold on. What is the motion that they've filed?
They didn't file a motion.
It's information. I don't think they filed a motion. I think they just got info.
It's a response to the allegation by Diddy's lawyer that they have seized privileged information about his legal strategy. And I'm not understanding. So if they are saying this was a general raid, why are they so specific about the alleged misdeeds of Diddy behind bars? I'm just having trouble with that.
Yeah, it's just a stupid conversation they're having, Bubba. I mean, it's just stupid. They raided a guy who's in jail for he's accused of horrible crimes.
Including witness tampering.
Including, that's what they're going after right now, is witness tampering.
As they're trying to show.
They did a sweep, whether they did it because they thought he was doing something or they did it because it was pre-scheduled. Irrelevant. Who cares?
Monitored lines, and maybe they learned some information and then wanted to look further into that. But to your point, that wouldn't be necessarily a pre-planned raid. The problem with this, though, is they don't really need a justification. It doesn't need to be pre-planned. They can go in and toss his cell if they think he's intimidating witnesses.
Unless they're giving prosecutors the defense's legal strategy.
But they just said they weren't.
Yeah, they said that they put the manila envelope mark legal aside and then only took pictures of suspicious things inside of his address book.
Huge problem.
And then that was given to a filter team within the facility to see if legally they should send it or not send it to the prosecution. To me, it sounds like it's textbook,
And they only sent redacted, which means blacked out.
Right.
What Diddy's lawyer is saying.
You're 100% right. That would be...
This is Diddy's lawyer just scratching for some type of sunshine in a very dark, dark situation that he'll never be granted bail on, and that he'll probably end up spending. This guy's done. He's done. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. If what he did, if it's already this much of a crap show, just while he's being incarcerated, in the very, very early wranglings of this whole thing and the overall scheme of things of taking this to trial, this is such the appetizer of nothing that if you're already arguing about this, how guilty is he? Right? I mean, if they're already busting balls about this, well, how? And they will never grant him they will never grant him bail, to the point where he even came up with a $50 million bail package proposal where they denied. Which means he couldn't even have a cell phone.
You feeling bad for the diddler?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling bad for him at all.
He's just saying that severity of it all is so obvious, and that this guy, if half of what they say is true, He's never getting out.
Right, and to me, this is a Hail Mary from his attorneys to try to get some type of sympathy of something that he's doing when this is just such a nothing burger in the overall scheme of things. They went in and did a raid. They have the right to do that anytime. You do not have the rights while you're incarcerated that you do while you're walking around. You are officially property of the state or the country. Right? You're
You're a ward of the state.
Yeah,
or
you
the
are.
country.
You are no longer a human being. You are you're property of either the U.S. government or the state of New York, and you have no rights, none, other than for them to keep you alive, keep you safe, and keep you fed. That's all. That's all they owe you. Am I right? I mean, that's keep you fed, keep you safe, and keep you contained. That's it. You want to come in at 3 a.m, upend your deal? You're done. You're done. When do you think? Didn't they go for the swift trial within 100 days on this deal? Did they do that, Jay?
I think it's happening in May, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah. Let me do some words, Lummy, so we can say goodbye.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
My son will be gone. Maybe 10 months.
You're gonna have anxiety on that. I'm just telling you.
Of course, it's just part of it. Of course, but I mean, I'm trying to prepare him and for me for this. I've been talking to him about it since.
Is he going to Alabama?
I said, if I do my job right, at 18 you leave and you don't come back.
Where does he go?
He's going to Tallahassee.
So he's going to FSU.
He's going to go to FSU ultimately. Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
That's what they called it in Tampa, taint officer, HS Bubba Fan 69.
So Jay, what's the legal advantage of calling for a swift and speedy trial compared to is there a legal advantage? Like will you call for that when you have a slam dunk and you don't have there's not a lot of discovery and you want to get it you're on the right side of it so much so that you want to get it over with? Is that the advantage to a swift and speedy trial?
The whole idea of the right to a speedy trial is to prevent the government from hemming you up on charges and keeping you in perpetuity while you're waiting for a trial.
Right.
So most cases, I say a typical murder case, it's your 3, 4, 5 witnesses maybe, and then you have some experts come in, so it's a couple of weeks trial, and there's not a ton of discovery, and so if you're up on a rape or a murder charge, you're probably saying I want a speedy trial so you can figure out immediately what your punishments are. Now with something as complex as say the Trump overthrow the election thing, where there's 1 million pages of documents. I mean, you would never, as a defendant, ask for a speedy trial because you're never going to be able to get through those millions of pages of documents and the discovery necessary to prove your innocence. So the idea is to try to prevent the government's overreach of keeping you while they're hemming you up on charges.
Right.
But certainly, if you have a good case buttoned up, speedy trial, and you're done.
Yeah.
I think you guys did a speedy trial. Pretty sure.
Yeah, we did.
Wasn't your trial within 18 months, 2 years?
Which one?
The pig. The pig. The only criminal one, Bubba.
Oh. Yeah, we did.
Right? So yeah. I'm almost positive you guys did right to speedy trial, and that forces the government to actually prove their case.
The government put no witnesses on. None. Zero.
Right. The dirty game. Xerxes, I think in Florida, speedy is, I don't know if they've defined it by statute, but I would say absolutely within 2 years and usually 18 months as far as a criminal case. And obviously that's subject to pending motions or anything like that, but generally.
What's up, Dr. Dan's Blooming Onion Maker? You're right about that UAP of Phoenix.
90 days if it's a misdemeanor, 175 days with a felony.
175 days?
With a felony, yeah.
Wow.
90 with a misdemeanor.
Two years is a long time, and it sounds like what Lummy just read that it's a lot less than that.
That's the Florida rule.
Yeah.
Take me home tonight.
What, Eddie Money?
Oh yeah. Every day.
What is it, you?
Seal Lane.
Oh, that's funny, Thomas Kills. So you like to counter negotiate, huh? Eat more coleslaw? The counter offer.
Seth, you want to do 35?
Yeah, that's fine.
You got pigmentation coming in? Okay.
I canceled it for today.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Appreciate everybody. Last minute, if you like, help us out. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Seth Kushner and I will be doing, or I should say, Seth Kushner and I will be recording Clem Kush. That'll go up today, I'm assuming. Yep. And let me try to get that standalone that I asked for today.
That Joyce one is done, and they're currently working on the Warsaw football one.
Thank you, my friend. Matt Joyce one, man, if we work it, that might get some legs. We're the only ones that had the balls to report it. I think it's very obvious in what we're saying. I wish Brittany and Matt the best. And the dissolution or what's it called, Jay, when you're divorcing?
Dissolution of marriage.
Your dissolution of marriage. Sorry, I had to be the one that noticed it. But Britt Joyce is just so damn hot. How do you not notice, Lummy, that she might be somewhat available?
Yeah, exactly.
Some stud-ass 30-year-old pimp. Jay, appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
We'll see you guys later.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian, Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello. I'm back.